Boom, boom. Hello and welcome to this episode of Lost Legacy, our live play D&D. This is episode 14, titled Diplomatic Immunity. um, I had the title. I knew what it was going to be titled. I titled them. I tried to at least. Okay, so so we can kick this off. Let's do some introductions of who we are, who we're playing, and any projects, and we will start with Chris.
That's me. Hi, I'm Chris. I am playing your friendly neighborhood shape-changing rogue, Finn. And as far as projects on my channel, Players and Creators, running a Tyranny of Dragons campaign every Wednesday, and that's pretty much it.
All right. Next is going to be Rennie.
Oh, hello. I am Rennie, part of the Unconventional Heroes team. I will be playing Disbin Tenderfoot, Goblin Paladin Extraordinaire. Last week, my fun fact was that my dog was as smart as I am. The fun fact this week is my dog is wiser than I am.
Just a boy and his dog. Just a boy and his dog.
I'm just a boy and his dog. That's really all Dizzy is.
All right. Next, Norm.
Hey everybody, I'm Norm. I'm playing Kellen, the Rock Gnome Artificer. He likes to make things blow up, but he's a little bit pissed off because he was outdone in the blowing up department. All he has to show for it is basically is all full of covered in soot, and you can only what you see when he opens his eyeballs. So he needs to get back in the game and blow some shit up. So.
All right. Last but not least, Sam.
Hey, I'm Sam. I play Odyseth Kroshtuk, our Dragonborn Death Cleric, who is a little late to the party and looking to pick up the slack.
All right. And I am.
He's a Death Cleric?
Whoa, whoa, whoa! That's his words. You're not allowed to say that. Anyway, you don't know what kind of cleric he is. He's been healing you, and you haven't died. But he does have a necrotic dragon shroud when he does Spirit Guardians, which is now weird. Okay, you're weird for thinking it's weird. Anyway, so I'm Gene. I'm your GM, and we have channel points that are these little potion bottles, and you can spend them to either give myself for very expensive points inspiration, which I'll generally use against them, or I might use for them depending on the situation, or you can give them to the party / a person specifically, and then they could use that as the group, and we do it as a reroll, or if you want to do it preemptively, but I'm really very flexible about it because it's a reward for you. 1 second. Oh, okay. All right. So, a lot happened in a technically short amount of time in game, but a lot happened in the amount of time it took. So, we're going to do a bit of a recap just to kind of get everyone to speed. So, you all have been, you have entered Draven's Rest to try to find Fingers Peace Pennies, who you believe might be linked to some of these famous, this legacy of heroes that helped put away the Cult of Tenebris, which is your current mission. In doing so, she's disappeared. When you found out, you found that her shadow companion was trapped in a magic mirror, and they led you that you found that there was some sort of were-rat nefariousness happening. Quickly and swiftly, discerning the problem, investigating through some lucky and unlucky rat-based attacks on your dog that helped lead you on this quest. You determined where they were, who their leader was, and what kind of people you were going after. You dispatched their plague master, who was somehow combining some sort of dark eldritch magic given to him by the Tenebris cult with the were-rat lycanthropy strain. You have a few vials of whatever that liquid is, and unfortunately Disbin during this time was infected, and you had to use your only cure versus lycanthropy to make sure that he was at 100%, which honestly paid off because you saw that as you went to confront the captain and he grabbed Fingers and teleported out with his fancy coat of the Montebank, and you saw him go through a dimensional door, that during that fight, when you encountered him, you got onto Reggie's back after he drank a potion that made him huge, and you ran through the streets, did a ton of property damage with Clifford the big red dog, and eventually, narrowing down your choices, went to the dock in the middle and found the captain getting ready to set sail. But he was expecting you, so as soon as you arrived, their attack began. Um, what you learned is Fingers was kind of tied or chained to the mast, and when you came to help her, the captain played a ditty upon his pipes, and she transformed into a horrid werebat. She began lashing out at everything around her, but thanks to some words from Disbin and his aura of vigilance, she seemed to regain control of herself. During this time, the fight, after you've been going trial after trial, getting through this underground, you were hurt, you were depleted of energy and supplies, and the fight was not looking great. Things were starting to turn south, or it could have turned well, but you were still surrounded. Finn entered the ship and lit the powder room on fire with a hopeful fuse, with his unskilled eye. And then as he ran aboard, he said, "Everyone get off the ship." You all began to jump off the ship. Also during this time, Otisesh came in and gave some minor healing that really kept everyone just in it. Just enough. And as you leapt to the other ship, their ship exploded. Both the captain incinerated, Fingers incinerated, or at least unknown where these people are. As you have retreated, the boat you're on is on fire. The docks are on fire. One of the warehouses right near the other ship is on fire and has explosive damage. And you all have gathered back, kind of at the center point. But you see, coming up from behind you and to like the west, a large group of guards and others rushing toward your group. And that is where we are going to pick up. Your ears are still ringing. There's still some fire damage on a majority of you. Reggie isn't looking good. Barely standing in there. Disbin's also looks real. Disbin, could you make me a wisdom save?
I sure can, Gene.
Yeah, I forgot about that. And then I remembered I said explosion and fire a bunch.
I got a 22.
Okay. So, because you survived it, and it didn't like crush you or oppress you, you hold yourself, but this reminds you, there's debris everywhere. You can barely hear again. For a moment your breath catches, but you kind of take a moment. So, what would you guys like to do? You see guards rushing about you. They're probably maybe a round or so away. So they can see you, and they're heading toward your group. And also towards the fire.
I definitely want to see if I can find Fingers. But if you're saying Reggie doesn't look great, I definitely don't want to use Reggie. I could definitely pull the ring of water walking off of him, jump into the water, and start my investigation, I guess. But I definitely want to see if I want to find Fingers, or at least proof that the captain is dead, that kind of thing, that they didn't get away. I know some of the guys jumped in the water too.
Correct. But you think the explosion was large enough that it may have taken them out. And again, yeah, you can absolutely do that. So as you're, beginning to take the ring off Reggie to take it, a group of guards approach you. They have weapons drawn. You see a cloaked figure behind them, and they go, "Freeze! Freeze!" as they're pointing swords at you all. What's going on here?
Otis will step in front and put his hands up. Say,
These people are working for the Khazralian embassy in an attempt to defend us against a terrorist organization. The Empire understands that some damage was done in the process and will cover any financial obligations.
The guard, make me a persuasion check, or deception, or intimidate, with advantage.
okay.
and you can choose what you're using. Like, do you believe this is true? Your words, or are you just, or are
I
you?
mean, like, it's not
So,
super false.
but you don't really, you don't technically have that full backing. Make me a deception check or intimidate.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like technically true, but it could be a check that you can't cash.
17.
Okay. They pause because you immediately mention the Khazralian Empire, and they kind of go, "You four," and you see four of them kind of like just surround you, and they put their weapons lower. He goes, "Stay here," and then you notice other guards begin moving. The person in the back, you watch them kind of move their hands, and you watch like the waves of the ocean start splashing over some of the like more prominent fiery wreckage, and you notice more groups are coming of guards, and also it seems like wizards and clerics of at least some minor power that seem to be trying to contain and put out this fire.
I
We're
will.
going back to jail.
I will just like listen. They were trying to take somebody captive too. They might have survived the explosion. We have to see if she's alive.
We citizens, you will stay here. We will get our superior. We will look into it. And
Yeah, but by the time your superior gets here, she might be dead or drowned or whatever. Look. I will promise to be right back. You'll see me. I'm just gonna go right here to make sure I can walk on the water.
make me a persuasion check. You are not at anything.
Yeah.
This guy doesn't seem like he wants you to do that, but sure.
That's a 24.
He kind of goes. You notice one of the wizard who's kind of like splashing waves. He goes, Lanthel, I need your familiar. And you watch like a winged snake kind of slither out from the sleeve. He goes, go with him. Make sure he doesn't try to do anything nefarious. And you watch the kind of snake like just kind of curl around your shoulders, not like aggressively. And he goes, all right, we have eyes on you.
Okay. And so I will slip the ring on and I will run as fast as I can and try to do some kind of investigation.
Okay.
Try to
Well,
find
first, I need you to make me an acrobatics check as you are now avoiding waves and flaming debris, and also now the water is starting to move as these wizards are manipulating it, and the clerics and stuff are trying to do stuff.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay, you begin kind of like hopping, jumping, moving. You swing on a rope that's like off of like a fallen over mast, and you kind of
Parkour!
get out. Yeah, you get out. Make me a perception or investigation.
It's only a 13.
Okay, you do not. There's a lot of wreckage. There's a lot of debris. It's spread far. The waves are pulling in and out. What you do see is maybe 100-ish feet out from the ship. You see a few people, like some people. You see like three goblins like holding onto a barrel, and that is all that remains of the crew. And they but they're burnt and singed. They have like pock marks of like where like debris hit them, but they seem to be at least far enough away that they may not have taken the full brunt. But you don't see any of the leaders that were with them, like the people ordering them, and they're just holding. And you watch them kind of they're like drifting out far enough that unless someone does something, they will likely be lost.
Okay. And no sign of fingers, nothing.
No.
All right. I will get behind these guys and I will start like like a little kid pushing a go-kart since I'm walking on the water, and I will start pushing them towards everybody.
Give me an athletics check. You're not a strong lad.
Not at all.
So
that's a 9.
all right. You begin pushing, but you give them enough resistance that they're not sailing back, and they kind of like look at you. There's a little fear in their eye because they know they've seen you, but they like, help us get to shore.
I'm trying. I'm
Okay.
trying.
You watch them kind of like change their grips a little bit, and they begin kicking, and it takes you some time. It takes you like
Yeah.
5 minutes to fight the waves, but also push, and you will gain 1 level of exhaustion.
Okay, that's fair. But at the same time, I will also be like trying to wave.
Eventually,
these guys.
you get within to a nice distance of the dock. A rope is thrown out toward you guys. You are pulled in. The guards will put swords on the goblins to be like, "You're going to be taken in for questioning," and they're like, "Ah!" They just immediately surrender.
All right, but yeah, so I'll go back with my group, with my crew, and I'll just like, I couldn't find anybody except those 3 guys over there. Fuck.
All right. A few minutes pass. People are beginning to tend. You notice there's like a small fire department doing their best.
Permission to lie down.
Yes. Take a knee. Take a knee. Eventually, someone a little bit more decorated. Actually, to be fair, a person you recognize. You see this surly dwarf, kind of grumble up, cigar in his mouth, and he goes, "What's going on in my town? What are you all up to?" And he's, who do I need to talk to? I hear I had to be woken up for something important. And you see the sergeant kind of like point at you. And Chris, you recognize this dwarf as the chief, or at least the guard captain, which is Chief Brandstone. And he goes, "All right, someone said something about some sort of Khazralian embassy or thing. I don't know, chain of command." And he's looking up to you. He's like 4'6".
Yes. We were attempting to apprehend kidnappers and terrorists who have plagued your city. And these people are working for the embassy. We were acting out of self-defense, and any damage we may have caused in attempting to apprehend these criminals will be dealt with by the Empire.
Well, as fancy as your words are, it doesn't work like that. You are in our kingdom, and therefore our laws take precedence. But I can't arrest a diplomat and their entourage, but I can put you into house arrest. You must stay at the embassy until we have a proper time to investigate.
You can
Very
arrest
well.
me.
Don't listen to him.
He kind of like,
We will return to the embassy.
now, it would look favorable if you were to be able to. We will send an investigator over to you in case you have any. I imagine you have evidence to back your claims.
Indeed, we do.
Then we will send someone over to you. Within the next few hours, once we take care of the fire and whatever other situation comes. Do not leave the embassy, or we will take it as a sign of guilt.
Captain Bradstone. I like get back up, leaning on Reg.
Yeah.
There are individuals that we freed from captivity that can corroborate our story. So when you get your investigator, you can reach out to a rooster knight. There is a rooster knight, and his name is one that I wrote down. Oh fuck! Where did I put this? In my notes. Sir Colin. He should have a sword with a maker's mark that looks like this, and I show them Garth's maker mark.
His eyes squint skeptically at you, not because of you mentioning the rooster, but when you show him the mark.
Okay, that's fine. Again, Dizzy's like eyes are half open.
Yeah.
There's
And
also
one guy
a
was a judge.
Yeah,
Judge.
Judge Roland. You can reach out to him. And there's a dwarven diplomat named Hilda. They can all
He
corroborate our tale.
he kind of nods. He looks to you. What is your name, diplomat? He looks up to you, Sam.
I am Otiseth Kroshtuk of House Diablexia.
He nods. He doesn't seem like he's familiar with at least the full title, but it seems like what you said to him. He's like, "That sounds Dragonborn. That sounds Khazralian." He goes, "All right. Do you have healers in your embassy, or should we send someone over?"
I don't know the answer to that question.
You don't
I
know.
just,
You
yeah.
know, so you know the guy that's in charge there is literally like the merchant house and the diplomat house.
Yeah.
It's Divertance, Daristix. You have no idea. I mean, you can heal, so like you could say yeah, like he's just asking if he needs to send you medical
Yeah.
people your way.
We will be all right on our own.
All right. Well, kind of looking, it's evening. At dawn, we will send investigators over your way. We will begin looking into what happened here, these three individuals you have mentioned. Um, Anything else you can do, give us now that we should look at.
Oh, wait, I have something. I have something. Hold on. And I pull my pack and I rummage around and I take out this ledger. Um, it's in the goblin tongue, so you're gonna need someone who can translate. But this is the ledger for the Captain Shanks, and again I point at the like burning
Yeah.
wreckage.
He goes, we can handle
Um,
that. At this moment, you hear the loud clattering of full plate mailed leggings, and you see a contingent of four tall, red skinned hobgoblins in plate mail with this tiny, crooked, like, twisted goblin old lady. Well, you are attacking the Freeport's nation without representation. And he's like, ma'am, stand back. And you see that it seems like an entourage from Freeport, as it looks like some of their goods have been attacked, and they are well aware. And Bradstone goes, get to the embassy before this gets out of hand. And he kind of nods for you to leave so that he could go talk to this woman. And you watch him approach.
I'll put I'll kind of like be support for Dizzy as he's walking.
Thanks.
And
Yeah.
two guards will escort you to make sure you go there. But he kind of starts talking to her, and she is just yelling and like finger in the chest at him, like, you mess with our goods, you mess with our trade. Is this how Strave End treats Freeport? I thought we were in at least a commerce agreement. And he's just like holding his ground. You could see there's like definitely molars clenching, but it also seems like he really can't do much about what's this talking down, as you can tell that she holds this like air of like, yeah, I'm also important. And so you guys kind of make your way. Do you guys try to veer off, or are you heading right to the embassy?
No, I think we're too banged up and
Yeah. I think head to the embassy and long rest.
yeah.
All right. So you make your way from point 3. You head over through the town. You pass the museum. You go through the court, and you eventually get to the embassy row at 22, to the Khazralian embassy. It is on high alert. The torches are lit. You see, as you kind of approach, there are arrow slits with heavy crossbows aimed down at you. As the moment they see you, in Draconic, they go, Lord, do you need assistance? And you watch their bows all train on your entourage behind you.
No, we need to enter.
Of course. And within a moment, A large bar is moved. The reinforced door is open, and you see a fully lit, interior. You notice the guards are all on high alert. They're watching, and you see Darristix, sitting at his desk in the back, filling out forms, and you see a injured but alive Grung that you recognize from earlier.
That was going to be my first
Yeah,
question. Good.
and he's like speaking to him like, "Rah, rah, 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 rah," and he's like, yes. And you saw the Lord down there. Is he all right? And as the doors open, he kind of looks up, and there was a moment of like joy, but then fear.
Mhm.
And then like all of those emotions go through, and then he's immediately like tightened up, my lord, and he stands to kind of offer you his chair.
I don't know what the etiquette is. If I should just take his chair, if
Uh,
that's like a dick move.
so, I mean, so he is the embassy representative here for Khazralia,
Yeah,
but you are of the noble family that's currently in charge of Khazralia. So
sure,
it's really, do you want to just be like, I am authority and I'm going to just say it's here? You know that they will likely kowtow to that.
sure, sure,
Or
sure.
do you, like, treat him more equally? Again, you are the, longest, you are far down the line of
Yeah,
your
yeah, yeah.
family, but your family's still in charge as of right
Yeah.
now.
Remain seated.
Thank you, my
My
lord.
companions and I require space to recuperate, after which we will debrief you on what is happening. We expect to receive an entourage from the city in the morning.
Of course, my lord. Here, he claps his hands together, and you see two grungs slink out of the water, and he goes, "Please arrange my quarters for the lord, and arrange some quarters for his guests." And they just nod. And you watch the grung kind of head over, and then he goes, "My lord, please follow me."
Mm.
And he takes you to a small room. It's not small, but it's like, maybe like a 20 by 20, and it's well decorated, well furnished. This guy lives in luxury.
Yeah,
There's like a four-poster bed, and he goes, "My lord, my room is at your service, at your command. Uh,
excellent.
do you and your companions require anything from us?"
Uh,
If you have any
food.
food,
Food.
me and Finn like elbow each other. I wouldn't mind some drink as well.
Uh, do you eat raw or food, or do you need your food cooked?
Dizzy shrugs. Yeah.
Pass it over a flame a couple of times, and it should be okay. Thank you.
Okay, he nods. He kind of you see a lizard, man in like a big fucking chef apron, and he goes, "I need you to prepare some food for our guest. You can prepare at least one meal in the Khazralian style, and the rest in the more cooked style of these people." And he nods,
Thank you.
like we're entertaining guests, and they are guests of the Lord. And the guy, this lizard folk, nods. Very important. They kind of step back and into a room. And yeah, this is like, now that you're kind of in here, because before you kind of went to the hall, you saw some of the guards, and then you saw the main room. Now that you see it, this is like a small keep. You know, they definitely have it reinforced. There is an underwater way that you're not sure if the town knows about. But besides that, they seem to be like well organized. You three are put up in, there are cots. There are like bunk beds and stuff. You notice that there's not as many beds as you would think. And then as you kind of are looking around, you notice that the grung don't seem to sleep, at least in beds here. Like, you watch, like, one's like gonna like kind of slinks over to like some of the water that leads to the underway, and kind of like dips under to like leave, like, but they don't seem to stay inside here a lot. Um, yeah, you guys are kind of you guys are led to a small dining hall. It's probably like a table that could sit like 10 people, not like a full hall. So you're guessing they don't eat all at once, but there's a very nice chair at one end, and the rest is just like benches. And there is food set out. There is a traditional dish for you, Otisesh. It is like it seems to be some sort of like like I'm gonna say probably like a raw fish, and then kind of there's like spicy dipping sauces that you would be more accommodated to, different peppers and other things, and it's you would imagine that getting this kind of food here, or at least the spices and the prepare, would cost a little bit of money because it is pretty far from your home country.
Mhm.
But yeah, and you guys are left to do what you want. But I will say this: the grung you saved, which his name or their name is, I wrote it down because I'm good at stuff. Their name is Narg, Narg. They are kind of shadowing you. And you would know this at this point. It's probably like they're at your beck and call as like kind of like if you're like, I need this. You don't have to go to the diplomat to be like, hey, you other guy that's kind of important, get this for me.
Yeah.
You seem to be given your own like personal servant, and you're imagining that this grung, probably feels some sort of allegiance because you saved them.
Mhm.
Like,
Got it.
yeah.
Is the food good?
Otiseth, this
You guys talk
I
simultaneously.
just wanted to say thank you, Otiseth. I was ready to go to jail. Like I was fully prepared to go to jail again. Man, can't believe I'm saying that. But thanks. This is really really great.
Well, we still might go to jail.
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, we were trying to do a good thing, and unfortunately, it spilled over into other people. I mean,
Yeah,
but
we
think
always
about
try to do a good thing. We end up in jail.
That is kind of our thing.
Uh,
yeah.
Dizzy, you hear in your head, I believe these creatures are eyeing me like they want to eat me.
Mm,
I'm in their stables, but they are staring at me longingly. Because he is gigantic, so they couldn't like bring him inside.
oh yeah, yeah. No, he's gonna be large for the next few hours.
It just
um,
says that to you. He's like,
hey, Otis, can you tell your people not to try to eat my dog, or he'll eat them?
Otis will just sort of look at the grung,
he just
assuming he overheard,
he nods
but
and
won't say anything. Yeah.
he disappears for a few minutes. They have you hear a few moments later, they have backed off. They are continuing their guarding. I'm going to sleep now.
I got you, buddy.
No thanks are necessary, but we must prepare for a corrupt investigation.
Yeah. I don't know much about this brownstone guy. Wait, Finn, didn't you talk to Brandstone? Did you get the sense that he was on the level?
Yeah, he seems like he's like tough but fair, um, a bit of a prick, but I didn't get like corruption vibes from him. But I think Otis is right. Not him specifically. The goblin folk from Freeport. They were making a stink. So if anybody's gonna probably try and fuck us over, it's probably them.
I'm going to say
Yeah.
this for the people who are on the board the vessel the longest. So that's going to be Kellen and Disbin. Please make me an insight check.
Mhm. I rolled a 1.
I got a 6. You're in good company.
Good. Cool, 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 cool. All right, we're good. Carry on. There are no inspirations. And then I will need Chris as Finn. please make me. This is kind of something that happened that you had a chance to notice that I did not think about in the moment. Please make me a perception check.
Ooh, past perception.
16.
So, because like in some of the fighting down below where you saw Finger's unconscious body, and you imagined they had been captured for a little while, there was something off about her like hair and face, and you can't quite figure out what because you haven't really seen her recently since. But there's something on the edge of the periphery of your thoughts that there's something off and you can't quite sure. So maybe if you were to think about it or sketch it out, it might give you an idea. Just you just can't quite. It's on the edge.
Okay, yeah. So I'll actually, I'll pull out my sketching book while we're eating. So like, just very quickly, I'll be eating and then sketching a little, trying to recall everything.
Okay. All right. Yeah, we'll get back to that. All right.
I mean, I can see the Freeport embassy. I don't know if that lady, I don't know who she was, but I can see them putting pressure on the guard, and that could cause problems. But I will say, unlike Nairmore, unlike Home, we have a lot of evidence backing up what we did. We have eyewitnesses, we have the ledger. I wish we had fingers, and Dizzy kind of like looks down a little ashamedly. I wish we had fingers, but I don't know. We have a strong case, and I will say there is kind of a card I can play, but I'd rather not if I can avoid it. My order that I trained with when I took my oath, they're pretty respected, and it's not that far from here. So they're known in these parts.
You
But
I would say this, Dizzy. You don't know where it is, but you believe that there is at least a minor headquarters of the Vigilant Order
yeah,
in this town. You don't know where it is, but you know that that may have at
it's
least
here.
a public agent here.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, listen, I've heard that there's something like that around here, and it's not a terrible card to play, but I don't know. It's out there. It's a tool in the toolbox, I guess.
Oh, yeah, I mean, if things go wrong or if we feel like, something bad is going to happen, maybe we want to reach out to them, try and find them. Because, character witnesses are great. And take it from somebody who's been in the penal system numerous times. It's not necessarily what you know, it's what, you can prove. And while we've got proof, what if they knew what those fuckers on the boat was doing and they're part of it? They're going to try and hide all that shit by making us the bad guys. So we got to be. I'm with Otis. I think this is something that might happen. Got to be prepared for that.
Otis, I know you said no thanks was necessary, but I don't know. This feels like a big favor. Do we owe you anything? Is there anything we can do to make this easier on you? I don't know how this works.
Just do not disrespect my people while you are here, and you will owe me nothing.
That's fair. I think we can do that. Yeah.
Can do, my friend. On that note, yeah, I'm gonna go to bed for like a day and a half.
Gene, how good was the food? Just out of curiosity.
Let's find out as a team. It was okay.
Right.
There definitely was a lot more care for your meal. Your guys' meal was mediocre, like at best. Like it's clearly they don't cook this way.
Oh, it's prison food, so whatever.
For Otisesh, it's like they use the spices and stuff they know, but they don't have the right ingredients and the right proteins. So like they're like, hey, this fish tastes exactly like that fish, right? And it doesn't. Like, it's like from a different part of the ocean. It's a different style of meal. So it definitely was like, it's like having a nostalgia meal. It reminds you of what the food from home tastes like.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's like they took their version of like, oh, I guess we have tuna here. Sure, that's a fish that's similar to the fish we have in our ocean area. Like, so it was okay. It wasn't exceptional, but it was okay.
Right. Yeah.
Um, yeah, you guys are, you all begin to head your ways. Is anyone doing anything secretly in here? Yeah, what's up, Kellen?
Okay. I'm unattuning from the magic I put on my boots and starting to tinker with my gun. I'm going to build a little holder for that all-purpose tool that I have, so it kind of integrates with the firearm.
Okay. Make me a Tinker Tools check.
All right. So that is a dexterity check with double proficiency or something like that.
It's
Or no?
intelligence. You're not
Intelligence.
doing,
Good.
it's not, yeah, it can be with double proficiency.
Ooh. So 13.
Okay. It takes you a little time. It's not as nice as you want it to be. Maybe if you
Yeah.
had a better lab or like, an actual like artificing area, like if you were at your farm, you could probably get it. So it's like a quick weld opposed to like a nice looking pretty. But
But need some work.
yeah, yeah. But it works. You got it functional. It's
Yeah.
just not pretty. It's more like a prototype. All right. Over the evening, you all begin to rest. Some of you just pass out. Eventually, Reggie will head inside once he is dog sized, and he will curl
Yeah.
up with you. Otisesh, as you're kind of laying down, you're sitting, you're lying in this bed. You see a nice, like, Khazralian library of, like, the many victories and conquests of, you know, Castleroy, Manteldrake, and your family's honors and the gladiator pits and heroes. There's a late knocking at the door.
Enter.
Okay. Daristix, opens the door and heads in with his head down. And there seems to be emotion on his face that he's warring with. If you'd like to make me an insight check.
Sure. 8.
Okay. Maybe he's just flustered because a lot is happening right now.
Mhm.
He goes, "My lord, there are some issues that have come up recently with yourself." And he makes eye contact with you. "I sent a message home reporting that you had arrived, and to my surprise, it was met with both hostility and surprise. Apparently, the dragon turtle you were on had sank and all crew were killed. And so it was believed that you were also." And you watch him, his kind of mouth edges with like a little bit of chlorine gas. "I need to make sure you are who you say you are."
Interesting that my survival should be met with hostility and distrust. I will submit to your investigation, and I expect afterwards not to be disrespected again.
Make an intimidation check.
Oh, this set doesn't fucking play, guy.
Nat
Nope.
20.
Nope. Yeah,
Okay.
nice.
So you watch him take a very large step back, and you noticed behind him he had like two lizard men with like full on pole arms, like glaives outside as well.
Mhm.
And they all take a step back and they look toward him and they aim their glaives at him.
Mm.
And he kind of looks, and he goes, I am sorry if I have overstepped, my lord, but it might be in your best interest to contact your family and let them know what has transponded. Apparently, the sinking of the mighty dragon turtle was under a suspicious event with no details forthcoming.
I will send word.
He nods, and he closes. He kind of like backs up, eyes to the floor.
Dude, how would I send word outside of telling him to tell them?
I don't know, buddy. You're a cleric. You could do sendings. You imagine that's probably how he did it. He probably used the sending spell.
Okay. I don't know that I have anything like that on my.
You could you're a cleric,
Yeah.
and I believe you can memorize it overnight.
Great. I'm going to figure out how to do that on my sheet, but assume when I take a long rest that I will be doing that.
All right. So you begin. You all kind of after that small hostility is avoided. Uh, the night goes on. You all get a night's rest. You all get a long rest.
Ooh wee.
Um, and at dawn, because I imagine you mostly sleep in because you guys were beat up and some of you are more tired than others. There is a knocking at the door of the embassy. It's not knocking, more of like an announcement of um, one of the lizard folk come in, and then you are eventually a knock on your door, Otisesh. It is. It seems like your investigators are at the door. I do not know if you wish to receive them for your breakfast or if you wish to have them stay outside.
Outside.
They can wait until we are finished with breakfast, and then we will receive them.
As you wish, my lord. And the lizard man kind of slinks out, and y'all hear some of you who are more keen and sensed maybe hear some grumbling. um,
Is there a secret way out of this place?
one of the grung that has been shadowing Narg just kind of points to the water.
Good to know. Good to know.
You guys are fed a cold breakfast, but there is like a hot coffee equivalent and teas. There's a lot of meat, a lot of meat in these diet, a lot of fish, some snake and lizard also, eggs, plenty of eggs, and not much in the fruit and vegetable situation,
Eh,
but
fruit.
you are all fed. The diplomat, Dower does not eat with you, and neither do any of the guards or servants. Um, let's say an hour passes. You guys are feeling good. Reggie is fed a bunch of meat as well,
Great.
and you guys, fully rested, ready to go. Uh, you kind of looking over the parapet or through one of the windows. You just see a, you see a an older looking woman with a cropped golden mohawk and sharp green eyes. She has rough white skin, and she stands about 4'10", regular, about a regular build. She has a round, mediocre face, and she just is kind of sitting there, looking a little perturbed. Like, to be honest, she doesn't look happy. um, but she is just waiting outside.
All right, let's
What's the story?
Let's go talk to this lady, right?
Yep.
We don't need a story.
I think the
think the
truth will
story is
work.
the
yeah.
truth.
We didn't
Yeah.
actually do anything wrong.
Yeah, sure.
All right. You open the door, and she kind of nods to you. All right. So we have received some of your notes, and we have begin trying to round up these key witnesses that you spoke of. Again, it was a little late in the evening, but we have contacts sent their way. Honestly, I believe Miss Hilda, and she just kind of points, and you see the dwarven embassy of Forge Home. I believe she's staying there, so I believe we can find her very easily. Judge Roland likely is at his home, but honestly, I just want to know all of the events that led us to a ship exploding, the damaging of many goods, property damage, and then maybe a light breaking and entering into a closed national monument.
Don't forget disturbing the peace.
Oh, disturbing the piece as well. Just so you have a ballpark, and this is not you don't need to worry about this, but the Freeport embassy is looking for the recompense of, I believe, 30,000 gold, 10,000 per ship, and then 10,000 gold in lost trade routes because of damages. The city has only about 5,000 gold worth of damages through the running through the streets and the minor fires and explosions. But I think we just need to clear things up to make sure people are both paid back and that the investigation is full, because if we find that you are not at fault and then we can figure out who is at fault, you understand. So
It is
Sure.
important
Makes sense.
that we find the true criminals involved that we were attempting to apprehend.
well, why don't we start at the beginning? Tell me what happened.
Before we do, and we will, we absolutely will. The ledger, was that able to be deciphered?
Yes, we have one of our investigators currently translating it,
Okay, great.
just so we want to
Um,
be able to identify anything that may have been misconstrued or hidden in there.
sure, sure. Um, I guess start at the beginning. Right. So we got here. We found that there were people that were sick. We didn't, it was concerning, but it wasn't our plan to look
So
into it.
So I'm assuming you're going to
Ah, no,
explain.
no, 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 no,
Are
no.
you
Yeah.
leaving anything out?
Mm.
I'm not going to tell them that I was the one that lit the fuse.
Oh,
I'm just going to say that I saw that I knew that something bad would happen because my friend
Okay.
works with explosives, and so I was like, we need to get off the ship. So I
Okay.
don't know how it happened.
okay. So for first question, I got to ask: you're telling them? I imagine you're telling them about Draven Rest Manor and the sewer entrance. Are you telling them about the 4 were rats that you encountered in the beginning?
Um, I don't know. I think I'd like to try to downplay their presence.
But you're still going to say they exist.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. So that's something that's important. The sewer entrance, Draven's Rest Manor. Are you telling them about fingers?
I mean,
Well, I think we should because we can say that we were trying to rescue her, and as part of our investigation and trying to stop them, and that was the person that I was actually trying to find when I went, when everything happened and I couldn't find her. So I don't know what happened. I think that's feasible to say.
Yeah, again, they don't know what happened. Like, all they know is that a ship exploded and there are some bad people. There are people that are real mad about it. So it's like, you guys are going from the beginning. You're telling them about the were-rats. I imagine, are you telling them about the Plague Master and the cult being involved?
Absolutely.
Are you turning over any of the samples of the strange liquid, Kellen?
If they tell me to.
You
mean,
need to tell.
if-
They don't know about it if you don't tell them about it. So that's why I'm asking.
Kellen's keeping his mouth shut.
Okay.
Somebody mentions it, then I'll address it.
How many vials did we get?
3.
Let me take a look. Okay.
Finn will say, we found 2 vials.
Well, if you could please give them to me so I can have our alchemists and any maybe clerics do some tests upon them.
Let me see. I have 3 vials of goop. I will give him, 2 vials we said?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, they seem happy with this.
Okay.
All right. I'm just trying to think of things that are important that could have been said, could have not been. All right, so
Gene, I'd also like to mention that I was bit and I had lycanthropy, but I fought it off thanks to my. Honestly, I think I am going to name drop the Bastion. So I'm going to be like, listen, I am part of the Order of the Vigilant, and because of my training at the Bastion of the Strong, I was able to fight off lycanthropy, and I'm willing to donate blood. I'm willing to work with clerics or
well,
priests.
you know that you drank a liquid that made you get cured. It wasn't your.
Oh, I
He's
know,
not saying
I
that.
know that.
Okay.
Yeah,
They, she. seems-
I'm twisting that part.
Okay. She's like, we will look into it. I mean, without a antidote or a way to detect it is going to be very hard. And she kind of like looks up and she's like, never mind. All right. If you guys want to make any checks,
Can I make an insight check to
Absolutely.
what was that?
yeah,
I'll make an inside check.
sure.
I won't. I'm just scared of going to jail.
21.
So she was looking
15.
up, and you notice that she would have been looking where the moon was, but it's daylight. And you recall, because you guys rolled well enough, you did find a book about the phases of the moon. And with some quick consultation, you think the next full moon's in 7 days.
Okay.
And she goes, all right, okay. And so so he grabbed this Fingers Peace Pennies detective, and she adds that. She doesn't like ask you that she is a detective. And vanishes to his ship. All right, that's interesting. Could you describe she asked you about the fight on the ship. Do you describe it in your full details? Are you saying that she turned into a werebat? Are you leaving that out?
I think we'll leave out that she turned into a werebat.
Okay.
And I guess we're also saying that Finn did not like the fuse,
Yep.
but everything else is.
I think in the course of the fighting that, it sparked something off. I saw it and I was trying to get everybody off.
All right. She kind of nods. She seems to ask a bunch of questions, and she's writing stuff down. All right. Well, she goes, we'll send some agents down below to the sewers, to Draven Rest Manor, and we will investigate there to make sure that if we find those bodies, we can corroborate your things. So you handed over only the ledger. Are you also going to be handing over like the notes that you took from the lab?
Those notes were about the goop, right? About the creation of the
So
goop.
you have notes on diseases and plagues, research notes on curses, research on moon phases, and then you have the notes on the coming and goings of the boat and navy of this town, which is absolutely treason. Like that is definitely gonna damn someone. And then you have notes on the positions of power in town, of people of importance.
Yeah, I think we should hand that over.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I think I see in my inventory papers recovered from sewers.
those are
Yeah,
the papers.
that's them. Yeah.
Okay, I hand them off.
Yeah, and
No
again,
longer
you
have them?
guys overnight could have like taking copies of things that you thought you needed or were interesting.
Yeah,
so-
certainly that. Yeah,
Yeah,
need some copies.
and she's not like I'm keeping this. She's just like, hey, I need to at least get this in and now analyzed. All right, so that's that. All right. She nods. She goes, "Is there anything else you would like to add, or some things? I will likely be back in after lunch to speak to you again. I would say while the investigation, I have two options for you, given to me by the guard captain. I either need to leave you under your embassy's protections on your sovereign land, gesturing at the embassy, or we could attach objects to you that we could track, and as long as you stay within a mile of the city, it will be fine. But if you leave, we would know. That way you could move freely in the city if you wished. You are not under arrest, but you are suspects of interest, so we must kind of figure this out and navigate it politically, as she kind of gestures to Otisesh.
I'll take your sticky tracker.
All right. Very good.
I'll stay in the embassy. It's nice and comfy here.
All right. Yes, it'll just mean that you can move freely in the city if you have other business you wish to talk. We don't want to take up your. We don't want to say that you're under arrest or forced in. We want to give you the freedom to leave, but you can't leave this town currently.
We
The
are
city-
under arrest.
No, you are not. You are under house arrest. It is different. You are not in jail, and you are
We're
not
under arrest. Thank you.
All right. Well, very good, young Master Gnome. All right, I will begin asking questions.
By the way, what's your name?
Oh, sorry about that. I've been so busy. I am Frowena Crew.
Arena crew.
I will spell it for you
investigator?
because it's very hard. PHROWENIA. And then crew is crew with an
Frowena?
extra E at the end. And now that you've been speaking to her, she looks like she's in her 60s. Like she's an older woman, but that's why you're like, oh, she's not as adventurous, but she seems really good at taking notes and definitely like very keen. And then I need a group check from all of you. Could you all make me deception checks? As she's trying, well, she's trying to punch holes in your stories with like maybe catching you on questions or like seeing how good you are at what you said.
I kind of kept my mouth shut most of the time, but luckily I rolled a 16.
Okay.
I got a
a
17.
12.
18.
Okay. She does not ask any further questions. She goes, I will be back. Stay in the embassy until lunch, and then I'll be back with the devices so that some of you can move freely if you wish.
Thank
and
you.
I will also come back after I've asked a few more questions. I believe there will be many more interviews we need you for. This is going to take a little bit, so that is part of the reason why we are trying to extend the courtesy of letting you be able to go around the city, in case there are people that might also help corroborate your investigations that you may want to speak to.
You know
Thank you.
what? Yeah, I'll take one of those sticky things too. So I might I didn't think it was going to take that long, so I definitely want to move around.
Yes, this is going to take a while. She kind of like shrugs her head. The amount of monetary damage and then investigating everything that has occurred, it is going to be a full-time job. You know, though I do have a strange question for you, and she gestures at you, Finn. You
Yeah.
mentioned that you were looking for fingers, yet she reported in the day of, and she was missing a while. That's a strange oddity in this story.
Okay.
When did she go missing?
We don't know.
Don't know. We were trying to look for her and try to find her. That's how we thought she was missing.
She just nods. And she turns around, and you watch her note something
Oh.
in her book.
Miss Crew, before you
Yes,
go,
yes.
I understand you're investigating us, and you should do your job to the best of your ability, of course. But really, the big thing to take away is there is a disease running rampant in town, and there might be people who are infected with lycanthropy. And that should be. I get that we are under investigation and do your job, but like that really should be the focus here.
I understand what you are saying, and I want to help, but unfortunately, I am just an investigator. When this is going to be brought to the top people, those in charge, I cannot make them work any faster. I can only present them with facts. Hence, maybe those of adventurous spirit, people who have already gone and get, might be able to help assist. There are many temples in this town. I don't know if you know this, but lycanthropy is hard to figure out. There's no way to detect it through natural through most means. It is a curse. So if you could figure a way to, maybe that could help. We would have to test every citizen. And she kind of looks up again, especially before the moon phase happens.
All right, I understand.
But we will get to the bottom of this. This has only been the first day. You have to give us at least a day to start working. We are now everyone is at our powers. In fact, there might be some news in the evening. I hear that some of the nightly orders will be gathering for a meeting to help discuss this with the current ruler of the town. So,
That sounds like someone wasn't doing their job, right?
no comment, and she keeps walking. All right, and you guys are left to your own devices.
As soon as we're inside the embassy and the doors are closed, like, oh, this fucking cult, that shit, fucking corrupted. I fucking hate that shit. Somebody on the inside's got to know something. They're in on this shit.
So we need to take their tracking devices, and we may need a way to disable them,
I'll say,
or otherwise make it so that we can move or not be tracked completely well.
so overnight, when you were there were some items that you did not identify yet, which you could have done overnight, Norm.
Yep.
So off the assassin that Finn killed, they had an amulet, and it is an amulet of proof against detection and location.
Oh boy!
That was the
Nice.
thing, but you didn't know what it did. You just knew it was a weird amulet. So that is one item that you will identify. I don't think you guys picked up any more magical items.
Was I going to check out
Uh,
something that
That would be
somebody's
for
carrying
one
or no?
person.
Yeah, someone can attune
Yes.
to it, and they cannot be scryed on or divined. Nothing can find them. It also can't be. It also means like if you were a lycanthrope or a demon, people couldn't be like, "Hey, I can see you're a demon." Like it's like it hides anyone detecting what you may or may not be. So one person could.
And then Finn, running through Finn's head, he doesn't know what these detection things look like.
No.
But he's thinking if it's just like a collar or a band or something, he's just going to shapeshift into something small enough to slip out of it, and then leave it in the embassy. So
Again, and you also don't know what because all they didn't say like they said that you have to stay within the city within a mile of the city, and they will know that if you are outside of that range. So who knows if it tracks you directly? If anyone wants to make an Arcana check before you get it, or maybe when you get it, if you want to identify it, you absolutely could. But as of right now, like, yeah. So you guys have a bit of downtime, just kind of chilling out in the embassy. Also, Norm, did you decide what you wanted to get your warg hide crafted into? Because you never told me.
Well, I didn't follow back with the guy because I didn't have enough money. So my hope was to get enough funds from here to finance the
That is
item.
fair.
So I hadn't made a decision yet.
Okay. Yeah. So, unless you guys are doing anything else, if anyone wants to do anything.
Now, was there any other items I needed to identify that somebody was using that we don't know all about or not?
I think you identified all the potions. You unfortunately didn't
Any
get
weapons or something?
you didn't get anything off the captain because he exploded into the ocean. So that
I thought somebody was using a sword. Did I identify that or some kind of
Yeah.
a weapon?
yep
Yeah, I have that sword. Yeah.
yep
Okay,
it's
so
the shadow
it's been
sword.
identified, right?
Yes.
Got it.
Okay. About you all sit down for lunch and it's the Daristix has not left his chambers, his working area, for no reason whatsoever, but he seems very busy. um, After one of Narg comes up to you, my lord, and he's speaking in Draconic. They don't seem to speak a lot of Common, or it's broken at most. Is there anything you wish for us to do for you while you are stuck in the embassy?
If you can gather any information as to what the city guard have done so far in their investigation and what they may have found out without bringing a lot of attention to yourself in doing so, any information you could gather would be most useful, particularly around the docks and the aftermath, if anything or anyone was found.
He seems a little bit crestfallen. He goes, "My lord, my grip of Common is not good, but we can watch their investigation from the water's edge."
Very good.
And he nods, and you see like three grung that were practically camouflaged into like the walls not moving. They're just eyes open, and they slink into the waterways.
Gene, I do need to make that.
You want to make a phone call?
Yeah, I need to make a phone call. Can you refresh my memory on what attacked us on the giant turtle?
So, on your way here, you were sent with a personal guard member, which was Norm's character. There
Right.
was a sweet dragon turtle bard, which was Chris's character, and you were on a dragon turtle ship with like a dragon
Right.
collar, and you were attacked by a bunch of tieflings with their like living monstrosity ships.
Mhm. Got it.
Things were not looking good, and you got an urge to consume the power of the ship because
Yeah.
you were told that you got the feeling like I can get you out of here if you do this, and then you did, and so you survived and appeared on this side of the continent, and you
Right.
don't know what happened to what happened to them.
Them being the tieflings or the other
Oh,
people?
Both.
Okay.
Like
And
you escaped. So so technically you are in the right because you are doing the mission you were told to do.
Yeah.
But that means that none of them reported back, assumedly, and no one knows what happened to that dragon turtle, which is pretty important because, like, if the tieflings were to get it, they might be able to convert it into some sort of monstrosity ship, which would not be great. But again, you stuck to your mission, so like you didn't do anything wrong, but you're guessing since it's been months, you're presumed dead.
Yeah.
And like him approaching you that way is not crazy. Like he could think you're an assassin impersonating you.
Sure.
Like,
Yeah.
that was like 100% like kind of in his right, but because he's wrong, he's wrong. Like then that's why it's not right because he's wrong. Like, but like it's very Khazralian to be like, I need to make sure that you are not a spy, that you are not trying to infiltrate. So he was doing it, but you definitely showed your command where he was like, okay, I'm wrong. So now I have to kind of eat my comeuppance for it.
Yeah. I think I get 25 words, so I'm trying to figure out exactly what those 25 words will be. If we could just assume I did that, and then when I figure out exactly the 25, I'll let you
To
know.
be fair, you could also be thinking about it because you now need to kind of explain yourself in this amount of time. And again, you're going to have downtime, so we could do a dialogue as you blow third level spells to speak to your to your sister or something.
Yeah.
But yeah, as of right now, just consider it. Again, you don't have to do it right now. You're in a bit of a downtime moment. So you're kind of thinking about it, and like, yeah, you're just like, what should I say? How can I deal with this? Because again, you were presumed dead. They also didn't think you were going to succeed anyway, so it's like,
Hmm.
like, do you owe them any words? That's up to you. Like, you could just be like, no, I'm doing what I was told. Okay, so lunch rolls around. You guys are all fed. This meal is
Uh,
much better. Oh,
yeah, no, that's great. I just have I was looking at my notes since you were asking about things,
yeah.
and I have a locket of protection that was given to me by the young girl we
Yes.
saved
Uh huh.
from the Nartleby clan.
Uh huh.
Can I ask that to be identified if that's
Yep.
something?
It is a neck. There's no amulet of protection, right?
So it's
It,
a ring of protection in
it
amulet form?
Yep. It's a ring of protection.
Yeah. Wow.
Uh, and it's inscribed with the mother's love, like the mother's like a nice like little phrase on the interior of the ring about like care and love for the daughter. Yeah.
Amazing. Yeah, I will attune to that.
Sure. Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, you do have that. I was like, it's in my notes. I was like, thing of protection. It's in my notes.
Yeah, I also had it written down. We just never looked into it.
Yeah. All right. So, uh, a little bit after lunchtime, you see uh, this woman return with a robed individual. Uh, you see this robed individual. He has a brown crew cut, brown eyes, and soft brown skin. He stands about 5'1". He's a little bit lanky. He has a slightly athletic build, and he has a sharp but forgettable face. And he seems to be looking back and forth, just kind of a little on edge. And she knocks on the embassy door. With this person. Fruina goes, my lords of the Khazralian embassy, I have returned as I said I would do before. May you open the door or allow us to enter, or you can step out here. Your choice.
Yeah. So I guess we'll go out. Yeah.
What time of day is it?
It's afternoon. It's like after lunch at this point, because she said she
Okay.
returned them.
We'll make them wait just a few minutes,
Oh yeah, obviously.
and then we'll go. Yeah.
She's
Total
like,
power play.
she's like,
Yeah.
you know they're in there. So, all right. So you
Standing quietly on the other side of the door.
you open the door. She goes, all right. So we have a little bit of information for you. Thanks to your information, we found the underground of Draven's Rest Manor being tampered with. We found a ton of humanoid bodies. Again, all of this corroborates with what you said. We did find a strange laboratory that seemed to have a lot of heavy damage with books and some monstrosities. So, parts of your story definitely check out. We unfortunately did not find any were rats, but that makes sense because when a lycanthrope is killed, it reverts to its natural form. But we have interrogated some of the crew, but unfortunately, the Freeport Embassy has taken them under protection, so we could not get information. But as you also were taken under protection, so we can't quite question you as we would like to.
We have not
Yeah, but
resisted
we've
any
been
questioning.
cooperative.
Correct, but if you were arrested and she looks at you, at, at Kellen, we would have asked you separately and differently for the information we needed. I cannot ask more aggressively because of your circumstances. So,
She means rough us up. They're
Well-
gonna rough us up. Yeah.
more like interrogation. There would be no violence. It would just be we would have used magics and things to force you to tell the truth.
Listen, lady, we've been interrogated before. It's fine. You don't have to be weird about it.
Okay. Anyway, um, so that corroborates. We are looking into the notes into the laboratory. We are our analysts are having trouble figuring out the concoction inside the liquid, the strange liquids, and how to figure out how to undo whatever it is. Um, Judge Roland has been spoken to. He is being quarantined. Uh, so is the knight. Uh, he is as
Sir
well.
Colin?
Sir Colin is also. He has headed back to his manor, and I believe the leader of the Golden Roosters has cured him of any ailments.
Do you know where his manor is? Because
Yes.
he has something that belongs to me.
Yes, he actually, that is something I wanted to mention. He said, since he is recovering, he wishes that if you are all invited to the Golden Manor, which is the headquarters of the Order of the Golden Rooster, and that is number 1 on your map. So it's the one that's outside of town, kind of protecting its borders. Judge Roland is
Oh,
also being spoken to as well, and Hilda is also cooperating. We're not sure if she has been cured of any ailments, but we imagine that her embassy is. So the next thing in line comes down to there are a lot of people who live here, and we need to figure out who is a lycanthrope and who is not before the full moon, because if the full moon hits, they will turn into their forms and go into a rage and attack everything, and that could cause more infection. And we all spread thin on this investigation, with certain groups hindering, let's say, some of the investigation.
Freeport.
To to be fair, they have taken the most damages in property, so they have a case to stand, and they are saying that this were rat thing or whatever, they had no idea of it, and that while Captain McGillicuddy was a traitor of theirs, they did not know that he had nefarious dealings, and apparently, the 3 crew members who you rescued, they did not know that the captain was a were creature.
likely story.
Yeah,
Rennie, make
yeah.
me an insight check again.
Insight, sure.
And Kellen can also make me an insight check.
Ah, thank you.
22. Jeez.
So you're thinking back
16.
and you're like, I don't want to believe her because that just seems crazy. But you do recall that when you were fighting Captain McGillicuddy on his ship, he was only partially shifting, but trying to make sure that he was doing it out of sight of people. Up until the
There was a
end,
lot of chaos going on, but yeah, okay.
there was. But again, when he fought you in the sewers, he was a full-on were-rat.
Yeah.
But when he was on his
Okay.
ship, again, that's just something like you're like maybe like it's a possibility. It's not saying it's
Right. He
true.
definitely made an effort.
Until the end where you saw that you hurt him real bad, and he just said "fuck it," and then he turned fully. But that seemed like desperation. Maybe again,
Okay.
it is a. It seems like it could be something that is able to be argued as a case. So who knows? And she goes. So we have dispatched messengers to all of the churches around town to see if they can assist. Is there anything you could tell us, maybe, of fighting these creatures? If there might be ways to detect whether or not they are infected. Oh.
Uh, yeah, definitely silver. Silver. They don't like silver.
So, but I'm not sure if they don't like silver while they are in their normal forms, like if they are in their natural humanoid form.
I mean, Gene, when I fucking slammed into people who were were-rats when they were not were-rat, how did they react?
Um, did anyone attack them with non-magical or non-silvered weapons? I
Not
don't
me.
believe so. I'll say this: everyone can make me some sort of intelligence check, either Arcana, Religion, or I'll say Nature,
Why you gonna do me dirty like this, Gene?
because it's knowledge about werewolves and where lycanthropes.
21.
19.
All right, pretty much anyone above a 15, you know that uh, lycanthropes are immune to non-silvered weapons. So if you were to like try to prick someone's finger with a normal knife and your blade did not pierce their skin, that's a way that you might be able to suss out who is and who isn't. And again, you don't know. Some of these people might not know they're infected, you know? So that seems like something. Oh, we lost a Rennie for a moment. He's back. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So yeah. So what I get you say, yeah, if you try to prick their finger with something that's not magic or silver, you're not going to be able to break the skin. Like it,
Well, it's a lot of people. I guess we're gonna have to figure out ways to start rounding these people up and doing these tests over the next few days. This is going to be very thinning upon us. Um, the captain wants does not like the timeline I have presented him through some of your information, and wanted me to double check upon something again. And now I'm not accusing you of anything, of course, but he seems like it is strange that you were seeking Miss Fingers out moments after she reappeared, because she was gone and missing for a few weeks, and then she reappeared and spoke to the captain, and then the next night you were looking for her, and no one had any idea of her whereabouts, and she didn't check in or update any case files while she was in. So we're just trying to get a bit of a timeline there.
well, we didn't start looking for her. We don't know about this whole that she was missing and then showed back up. Like we just knew we couldn't find her specifically, and so we went looking for her. I don't know about when she showed up again, but it wasn't after that. We were just looking for
All right.
her.
We are just worried that someone may have been in. There might be someone who's part of this gang of were rats who was impersonating her, as apparently she was investigating something involving the sewers, and so we were just seeing if someone may have been, captured her ahead of time and has been trying to infiltrate her position because she has access to files and things that a criminal organization, and corroborating with the notes that you gave us. Luckily, there was no information in it yet, so if they had her for a while, they hadn't broken her. But we were just trying to check in. Thank you, thank you. And she kind of dropped some notes down. Well, all right. With that, we're going to keep working. The town might be in a lot of chaos over the next few days, as we will be trying to get through every home and house and anyone who is possibly infected. Here's the other problem. We don't know how many people are, and it is hard to remove the curse of lycanthropy. And so there are a few temples in town, but only some of the more powerful clerics can do anything about it, and some of the more powerful mages from the academy. So we might be able to do. I would ballpark it because again, I don't know. I don't know what the capabilities of the forces in this town are. Maybe 30 people a day at most. We could cure, but if there's 100 people, and it's going to take us time to find them, so we're just giving you some heads up that things are going to be chaotic, and stay vigilant.
What is your plan for people whom you detect lycanthropy in, but whom you cannot immediately cure?
I imagine we would quarantine them. We would probably
With their families? Like,
no,
are you
no.
going to take them all
We
to a
would
big warehouse?
we would take them away, and we would likely put them in cells, not because we have to keep them from hurting themselves and others.
Very good.
I mean, I imagine we don't have the means, and we don't want to. There is a cure. It just unfortunately is requires a very powerful prayer, or and there doesn't seem to be an antidote. So it would be very hard for us to now. Given if we had a month and we knew more about this, we could probably call other temples and people. We could even contact Pentos to send people and agents to help us. But unfortunately, with the means we have in this town, it will be a little bit strenuous, and again finding those who are infected, because whatever this liquid is, I don't know how they expose people to it. I don't know if the three you rescued were the only people already done this. I know you mentioned those four individuals who they got happenstanced into it, and they so we need to find these people, and the worst case would be if those who don't want to not be this.
I mean, I don't need to tell you how to do your job, but maybe incentivize people into getting tested, right? Like maybe you get 5 coppers for showing up and taking. How long does it take to test someone for lycanthropy? Right? It takes
I mean,
seconds.
we might be able to spin it a little bit differently. We've been down on this disease and plague going, so we might be like, we have found a cure, but we must test the blood, and then we can just simply do a small pricking of the finger. We have methods and ideas, but we appreciate.
I am only saying the incentivizing because time is of the essence here.
Well, they know now that we are going to tell them that we have found a cure, and so I think that will
Okay.
incentivize those uh, to come to us, and we will also be gathering people. We'll be doing sweeps. It might get a
Except for
little.
the people who don't want to be tested.
Well, we will be doing aggressive sweeps.
I'll
Mm,
I'll kind of lean in to Kellen. I'm like, "Hey, Kellen, you're like super smart. Do you think you could probably help them figure out like an antidote with that stuff, or do you want to not do that?"
Yeah, I suppose I could sit down with some ciphers and papers and work up some mathematical calculations. It could take me a little while though, but I can do that.
Yeah. My cousin's super smart. Like he's like a scientist person thing. Maybe he can help.
I mean, if we do have a crime laboratory, if you wish to come down to the station.
man, crime
Yeah.
lab sounds so
Sure.
cool.
Yeah, this is a little
Let's
bit
go.
of arcane mixed with alchemy, just so we can do detections and. All right. Well, I need to first equip you with your devices. So she pulls out little like iron bands. Each of them have different runes on them, and she puts one over your wrist, Dizzy. The man with the robe whispers and begins casting a minor amount of magic, and it locks. All right.
Neat.
Next, she does the same thing. He whispers some magic. It locks. If anyone wants to make me an Arcana check to know what spell is being cast, you absolutely can.
I will.
Sure.
Yeah, I will too.
Yeah, me too.
18.
He's just like cool.
Nope, not me.
14.
Okay. 14's fine. It's the mage is just casting Arcane Lock. And so he does that to each of you. She equips it, and you do notice that each one of these bands has a different rune on it.
1 mile from the city, right?
Yes, as long as you stay
Okay.
within 1 mile of the city, we will not know where you are. Just if you leave the city, we will know, and if you remove it, we will also know.
Okay.
That is the whole purpose, and they will, and of course, once this is all over, they will be removed from all of you. No issues. Again, this is more just making sure no one leaves without us checking in on them, and also since you are part of the investigation, and you also
Does
might,
she
yes,
does she seem like she's telling the truth?
make an insight check.
Nat 20. Jesus.
Um,
Yeah.
she seems like she's telling the truth as much as like she doesn't know how it works, but this is what she's been told to do.
Hmm.
But um, you can imagine because again, you have spellcasting ability, and you read pretty well in your Arcana, that there might be some sort of system that's linked up to the bracelets that like when you get out of range, it pings. Or when you break, like, and you notice where they locked it, that's where another sigil is. So if you
Hmm.
break that sigil when you open it, it would also set off. So maybe some sort of modification on the alarm spell, so they would know, and maybe some sort of
I'm just
modification. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm mostly curious if she's telling the truth about us, like it not tracking exactly where we are or anything like that.
She
That's the
doesn't.
main thing.
She doesn't believe it that she's
Okay.
tracking where you are. Yeah, you're getting the idea that they kind of use these as like a mix between alarm and locate object.
Hmm.
So it's like they know when the object leaves the vicinity that it can be located, and they're like, up. Oh. And then that also makes sense now that you look at it that each of them have a different symbol on them, so they can't be like they can be like iron band with this symbol, I
Yeah.
locate it, or iron band with that symbol, I locate it. So probably whoever's keeping track of this has a set. And again, these don't. There's not manacles. They're not like you don't feel your magic suppressed. It's just like, hey,
Yeah.
you're wearing your bracelet, and they now know that if you leave the city, so stay in the city. But you're free to roam because they know that you're not going to be leaving.
Okay.
Right. Okay.
And then she goes, is there a Disbin Tinderfoot here?
Yeah.
I believe, what is, hold on, sorry. She begins flipping through her notepad. If you head over to 44, and I'll ping it on the map for you. I should be pinging. I believe that's 44.
Uh,
Is it pinging or no? Yeah.
Yep.
44. Yes, I see it.
That is the vigilance, the hall of vigilance. I believe your commanding officer might be there. If you, I know that you said you were part of this order, so if you're looking for a representation, they might also already be looking into this. So maybe
I would be surprised if they weren't.
connecting with whoever that is. I don't specifically know them off chance. But yes, so yes, I know that. I know that. Like I said, the Golden Manor, which is the home of the Order of the Golden Rooster, uh, Sir Colin would love to speak to you and return to you the favor that you gave him. If you wish to speak to anyone or investigate, again, if you turn in more information or uncover things that we may have missed, please, feel free to contact us. If Master Kellen, if you wish to join us in the crime lab to help try to, we have the town physician is currently there. Uh, their name is it is Ofin Guamiel. He is an older half elf, um, and he's a he's a little bit unconventional, let's say that, for his age. But he might be, he's definitely down there working. I'm sure there are a few members of the different temples working there as well, trying to help him. I don't know all the details. I know that there is a gnome working with him. She is from the Temple of Theris Essos, which is number 40. So actually, right by the Temple of Vigilance. She is the speaker of Theris Essos, which is the god of nature and fertility, and one of the many. So I believe she's trying to work with some natural remedies and growing some sort of plants and stuff to help. So maybe there's something you can do. I'm not quite sure, honestly, but any help, because if we could do something that we could mix it with a water supply and just have people drink, like that would be a much easier way, a bigger pill to swallow, and also a way so that we know that we don't miss anyone. If we put it into ale or we just feed it into water for a while. So that would be amazing if we could figure something out. But besides that, are there any questions you have for me? I believe that's everything I have for you.
I'm good.
All right. There is yes. That's that's all I have for you. If you, I will be investigating and speaking. If you need a liaison at the Bastion of Law, which is 24, um, your contact there is Thea Miss Splitter. She is a half elf, and she she is hardened. She's our hardened veteran. She's a sergeant, and she's at least a desk sergeant. So I know the captain is up to his beard in politicking and dealing with that. So she is kind of running the base of operations. If you need to get any messages to myself, if I'm not about.
Is that where the crime lab is?
Yes.
What number's that?
That would be number 24.
24.
It's right near where we are, actually. It's right across the canal.
Awesome.
Yeah. And actually, what I'm going to do to you, for you guys, because you're going to have some time, and you guys can eventually probably just get a. Oh, did I close it? Damn it. Never mind. I'm not going to do it for you. I don't like you, I guess. No.
Right.
I just need to. I'm gonna put you guys. I'm actually gonna open up a different map. It's not gonna have the labels I've written in for you, and you guys can also write these labels down on the map if you want. But I will open up the other map, which has all of the places of interest labeled. Not labeled, but if you look at the top,
Nice.
if you look at the top of it, it tells you all of the places. You see?
Ah.
Yeah. Uh huh. Uh huh. Uh huh. And
All right.
some of them are different named, but they're more like they actually have different names. But that's more or less what they are for what you need to know.
Beautiful.
So that'll kind of help you understand what's going on. All right.
Cool.
Yeah.
I will actually ask our esteemed investigator.
Mhm.
Yeah, so like my cousin's gonna help me with the crime lab, and we're being very open. We're like we want to help with this investigation. Is there anything else that we can do, maybe that might help you?
I mean, the we're running into a bit of roadblocks because as of right now, the Freeport embassy is declaring that they had no attachment to McGillicuddy's dark, nefarious plans. They didn't know his connection with the cult, and honestly, what they're presenting, it seems true. At least what we can get out of it. I don't know if it is, and I don't know if it's not. But if it's not true, or if it is true that they did not know this, or maybe only some people knew it, well, that would also mean that this was happening under their nose, and that they would have to be responsible for their own damages because it was their own. It was essentially a crime that they did upon themselves, and therefore, then that part of it would go under their jurisdiction for their own self. But because he attacked this town and was plotting treason, it gives us the wiggle room to use that information and knowledge to put a stronger foothold against Freeport. Because...
So is this just about not paying Freeport? You guys just don't want to pay Freeport?
No, there is... So, I'm guessing you are mostly new-ish, but...
Hi, I'm Dizzy.
Yes, well, the Kingdom of Stravend, this whole area, and Draven's Rest, has been in... There's never been open war, per se, between Freeport and this place, but there's always been a cold, underlying menace, like pirates that happen to maybe not be associated with Freeport attack us, and it's a very tense relationship, but the trade flows. So, them spying on us openly is shocking and appalling, but behind closed doors is not surprising. Now, are we going to be able...
Sure.
So they're either treasonous or incompetent.
Yes, and if the left hand is not talking to the right hand, that gives us, and I use that as the royal we, maybe leverage in the future. Again, my priority is solving the investigation. We currently have a lot of evidence. We can't pin it likely on Freeport. They will be able to wiggle out of it and say this was a rogue agent acting on their own.
Well, the ledgers will speak, won't they?
But if he's the captain and he's the one keeping the ledgers, and if his first mate...
Yeah, but aren't ledgers, like, don't when you go to new ports that you have to, like, register with the port master of that port?
But he likely has legitimate business. Like, he had legitimate business being in this town. He had trade a few weeks back. And then things started happening also in a correlating amount of time. But again, correlation is not causation. And so we have found a bunch of bodies down below where Dravenrus Matter which match his first mate. And some of these bodies match his officers, but they also match some of the locals of this town. But on his ship, all of the survivors of his ship we know are not lycanthropes because we did test them. That we did do.
Well, I mean, I get what you're saying, that it's hard to prove that he was connected to Freeport, right? Mm-hmm. But wouldn't this investigation give you grounds to look into Freeport stuff?
Yes, and we are pressing those, but unfortunately, they are pulling favors and diplomatic maneuvers that it is like I said, it is slowing us down. It's not saying that we will not eventually get where we need to go, but they are going to tie us up in red tape and legislation and documents, and then they're going to show us the proper documentation that says everything was correct, and that somehow I'm sure something is going to... And you watch her get really frustrated.
Miss Crew.
Yes.
I am not a smart man. I love dogs. I love my friends. And I like hot baths. But you clearly know a lot more about this than we do. What is the thing, if something landed on your desk tomorrow, and I'm not saying that I know who would make that happen.
She goes,
I figured it out. What helps you?
If you can locate where Fingers is, and get her to tell us everything. This was her job. She has the most research. We have no idea where she is or if she survived. So, if you could either locate her body, locate her, that would go further. I don't need to investigate you if my lead investigator shows up and gives us everything on a silver platter.
That's what I. Thank you, Miss Crew. That I understand.
And as of right now, we have no reason to believe she's alive because of you telling us she was injured in a fight with you on a boat, she was near death when you saw her get moved, and then she was in an explosion.
I tried so hard to save her. Tried so hard.
Now, if you have... now, I don't know how this would work, but if she was on that ship and it exploded, and she is in many pieces, hopefully not, or maybe she got caught by a large piece, she may have sunk to the bottom of the bay. If you could figure out a way to scour down below, maybe that would help your investigation. You could find things that we haven't looked for. If I were an adventurous person, now, and I'm not, because I am just an investigator. If I were an adventurous person, I might suggest heading over to Brackle Brineworth Antiques. I hear that they specialize in deep sea diving and exploration. And while they sell magical equipment to aid that, they do also rent it. And they also have they have antiques and goods. Now, I can't tell you what to do with or without your own life choices. But if they are at the bottom of the sea, there's no way we are going to find them at any point.
Ian, are you sure the title of this episode is Diplomatic Community and not Hypothetically Speaking?
Listen, no, it is Diplomatic Community because both you and Freeport are playing the Diplomatic Community card. Two embassies are saying, we didn't do it. I don't know what you're talking about. You can't enter my property. This is my sovereign territory. Well, maybe that'll be next episode, hypothetically. Yeah. So, she goes, if you were to talk to them, they might be able to aid you in supplies so that you were to be able to scour the bottom. But remember, you must stay within a mile of the town.
I mean, Reggie's always wanted to go scuba diving.
Oh, yes. She puts a bracelet on Reggie. on his.
Hey!
I forgot. Thank you for reminding me.
What's the name of that place again?
Brackle Brineworth Antiques.
Well, I do like shopping. I think that might be our first stop.
All right. Well, Master Callan, if you want to go with your friends, that is also fine. But or if you want to assist us, I leave that up to you.
Thanks. I'll go with my friends now to see what's going on, then I'll catch up.
All right. Well, we will continue our investigations. Thank you for your cooperation. And she heads out. So, you have a few options. You can go to this guy. You have an invite to the Golden Manor. You have an invite or an inquiry at the Hall of Vigilance, which is your kind of people. There's the crime lab. Yeah, you tell me what you guys want to do. Draven's Rest is yours.
It feels like the underwater piece can/should entirely be handled by Grung, right? Like, why would we go rent scuba diving equipment when we have?
They don't know what to look for as well as we would.
Well, I could stimulate a magic item, and I could assist in that search.
Yeah, we also might have sharper eyes than they do. That we also knew Fingers, and if Fingers meets some Grung in the bottom of the sea and she's alive, she might kill them. I don't know.
Also,
I'm
you
just trying
guys,
to think of like ways we could more effectively cover many bases at the same time, and happening to have a small contingent of
Underwater
underwater
people, yeah.
servant seems like an obvious tool to use.
Well, I feel like maybe what we do. I hate to say this, but I think we need to split the party. And I think like for example, like one of us would go, one or two of us would go underwater with the grung and like be able to direct them, like for helping. And then we get a crime lab going, and then something else. Like I think maybe that's probably the best way to do it.
again,
Well, my position. Yeah,
yeah, I leave it up to you guys. If you guys want to do that, I'm okay with it. Like, I'm also even willing to be like those people who are not involved in underwater adventure. Guess what you're playing? Two Grung, and then that way you guys are still playing the game. Because like if Kellen decides to go to the crime lab, like that's just going to be some rolling dice, of you working hard. But I'm okay with doing other stuff. But also, you guys have reasons to go underwater because you want to see if Captain McGillicuddy's dead. You want to find his stuff down there. Like, you want to find out if Fingers is dead and down there. Like, there might be things to do under there, not just like our Grung could do it. They could. I don't know. Like, but they also like Sam, have access to spells like locate object, locate creature. If you prepare them for the day, like which they can't.
Right.
So just thoughts.
Okay.
But go on. And
Yeah,
also,
we don't.
Also, you don't need to rent stuff. You could always, if you had the ability to cast water breathing, like you could just do that. But the point is, like, this is what she knows of, like, hey, this guy rents scuba gear essentially.
Well, let's discuss our overall strategy. Seems like we just mentioned and surmised that nothing will clear us except finding Fingers. So the question is, why split our resources and work on other things that does not directly achieve this goal? Yeah, it's nice to see if we can do the cure, but that's not really my priority. My priority is getting ourselves off the hook on this, because it looks like this is going to work itself to a stalemate. So unless we can find something to tip the evidence, we're really wasting our time.
Yeah. And I know you've got you don't want to do any more time. I know that's a priority for you too.
That is a priority.
So yeah. I'm good with whatever the group wants to do. But I agree. Yeah, like if we can find Fingers or say for example, we look for her and we find out, unfortunately she is in parts and she's not a body or something, then maybe we go to her house and maybe see if we can find like notes that she might have taken that she didn't leave in her office or something.
Yeah.
So maybe that might be the way we do this. We look for her first, and if we can't find her, then maybe we try to find what she did, like her investigation.
Or we can break into
that's a
the
good
Freeport
call.
embassy and investigate there.
And
I
what?
think I
Are
could
you
do
crazy?
that, yeah. No, I was thinking along the same lines. I was like, let's find out where they go drinking, or maybe break in there, and I could kind of do some sneaky face changing, and maybe try and find out some more information. But I like the Fingers angle first.
Fair enough.
I just do have a side point of yes, getting Fingers definitely. I am concerned with getting the cure to people. That is definitely a priority for me. I just want to put that out there. I'm obviously I want to help get us exonerated, but that's kind of secondary. These people don't deserve
Getting
that.
exonerated is secondary. What is
Doing
this
the right
crazy
thing is
talk?
what matters.
Look,
I've been
the
locked
thing
up
is-
before.
when Dizzy was saying all about all the things he loves, he did not mention that he loves helping people. Like and that's like just who he is. So yeah, don't worry, I could do your time for you if it comes to this.
I mean, I'll do the time just as long as the people are okay. That's all I care about.
Yeah, I'm not doing the time.
I know you're a criminal mastermind. We've discussed this.
Look, we're gonna do everything we can to keep you out of the clink. Don't worry about it.
I mean, and again, my order can kind of probably help with that. Like the thing that we just did, finding this disease, finding its link to were rats, then pursuing it, and then a boat showing up in the harbor. I'm gonna let you know that's like Tuesday for them. Like this is what we do. We find the problem and then we run at that problem as hard as we can to like cut it out, you know? Now, granted, this kind of exposed some more problems, which is a different conversation, whatever. But like, they're all about what this is. Now, what that means in as far as their pull or their influence, I don't know. But yeah, let's go get scuba gear. I've never gone scuba diving.
Let's do it.
All right. From the embassy district, which is 22, you make your way. What number are you? I was like, I have you written down. Sorry. I was like, where is it? It's, I believe. I think it's 18. That feels right. Yep, 18. So, boop, over here. So you make your way from here, kind of winding your way through the main roads, and you pass through, you pass by the common market area, which is, I believe, 4, and you eventually make your way, and it's morning, or it's mid-afternoon, so things are bustling. You do notice there is a heavy guard thing, and they are kind of guarding all of the passageway, like all the entrances to the inner circle. And you notice that there are priests moving in groups, kind of, you see them kind of starting to work sections. They're doing their best. But again, this is only the first day. You make your way all the way out past 17, which is another guard tower. Looking down, you see guards, and you see this old weathered shack. It's like 20 by 40. It's a pretty big place, but like fish nets and shells and just like tchotchkes all on the outside. It has a damp, moist smell of like brine and slight mildew, but saltiness. And there is a saloon door that kind of goes to a dark interior with a fish with like nets hanging down for you to pass through.
This place looks great. And Dizzy like strides in.
There's a lot of nits.
As you walk through, the first thing that you notice is this place is just full of clutter. Just like rusted things that are super lime because like they've been into the bottom of the ocean. It's just like all of these trinkets and artifacts lining shelves in piles. And in the back of the room, you see a giant, ornate claw-footed tub. And hanging out of it, you see this like fish man. He has like a full-on fish face, giant fish eyes, flapping like gills, and he's like half submerged. And he's like, "Hey, welcome to my shop." And this,
Hi.
this is a Lokoth. I'm Brackle. This is my fine antiques and antiquaries or whatever. Yeah, that's it. Anyway, how can I help you?
Hi, Brickle. I'm just
I'm Brackle. It's not Brickle. That's my cousin.
Sorry, Brackle. Me and my buddies were hoping to maybe do some underwater.
Yeah. 1 second. You watch him submerge himself, then he comes up. Okay, yeah. Sorry, keep going.
We were hoping to do some scuba diving off near the pier.
Oh, you're gonna do diving? Okay. It's kind of dangerous. There's a lot of weird shit down there. Apparently, a lot of ships have sank over the many years. I kind of do some treasure hunting down there, but some ruffians seem to try to move in on my turf.
Ruffian, underwater ruffians?
Yeah, what you think regular ruffians got to deal with?
I look around. I have no idea, sir.
I mean, I have dealt with some like frog guys because they've been also moving in on my turf, but we came to an understanding.
Good. That's good, Brickle. I mean Brackle. Sorry.
Yeah, my cousin's a fucking asshole. I can't believe you'd even bring that up right now. I don't even know you that well, but like now I feel a deep connection.
Um. I.
Okay, all right, okay.
Oof.
Are you buying or renting? Because that's really where it comes down to.
I think we're in the. I think we're here to rent.
Yeah, we're in.
And he dips underwater for a second, comes back up. Oh gosh, fucking breaking my non-spine. Holy shit. Anyway, all right. I got a bunch of gear, and he just kind of gestures at the wall. He goes, "We got some of those suits, and there. You see this like this studded leather that seems to have like, kind of like weird pouches along it. He has scale mail that also has these similar weird pouches on them. He also has splint mail. Those are they're what's locally known as mariner's armor. If you were to, I don't know, start dying or something underwater, you'd float to the fucking top. It's great. And it also, I think, lets you swim. I don't fucking know. I don't need it. But.
You don't know.
Well, listen, I find this stuff and I make
I
it.
feel like Brickle would know.
You can get the fuck out of my shop right now. I'm not talking.
I'm kidding. It was a joke.
I know. No, it's for you landlubbers who can't do nothing in the water because you just flounder like fit. No, it doesn't work. Anyway, I got some rings over here of swimming. I got some rings of water walking. For you cold-blooded folk, I got some rings of warmth because it sometimes gets real cold down below. That's more for me. Oh, I got this fancy trident. He just like picks up a trident on the wall and he waves it around and you watch a bunch of fish jump in and out of his tub. Yeah, let's just command fish and shit. And he just throws it into another pile.
I want that.
I got a cap and he pulls out like a scuba diver's cap. Lets you breathe underwater. Oh, I got these fancy candles. I got 5 of them. They're candles of the deep. You got to buy these though. They're able to be lit underwater. So if you need light. I got.
That would be handy.
Yeah. Oh, I got this too. It's a fancier version of that, and he kind of pulls out this orb. It's called a drift globe. You kind of like command it with your brain. It lights up and it can move around. It's pretty useful. I got some scuba goggles, and you see these fancy goggles with like a eagle, like an eagle's beak and feathers over the side. They're real good for like seeing far. I got these things for those who can't see darkness, and you see a set of goggles of night. I got these fancy gloves for swimming. They also let you climb. I got this real expensive helmet, and you see this like helmet that has its own like fins and like fish shape. Lets you move underwater and do stuff. And then I got this necklace that makes it so you can breathe and shit.
This was far too many.
How big is this place, Gene?
It's like 30 by 30 full of clutter.
Okay. While they're talking, I'm going to kind of wander away because this is like this is like treasure.
Yeah, no,
For me.
and that's it. Some of it is treasure. Some of it is like rusted junk found at the bottom of the ocean. This guy collects stuff, but he also seems to have like a set on the wall of like, hey, if you want to go treasure hunting underwater, here's my gear. He goes, here's the deal. A lot of this stuff is worth a lot of money. So, if you want to, it's pretty much 25 gold pieces per item you want to rent. And I also need a vial of your blood. Because if you don't return it, I'm gonna get it back. You know what I mean? This is real powerful magical stuff. I'd rather sell it, but a lot of people don't got the coin to buy it. So, for example, the ring of swimming is like 3,000 gold. The cap of water breathing is $1,000. The drift globe's only $750, one of the cheaper items. It's a lot of money worth of stuff, but not a lot of people can afford my prices. So that's why I need to violate your blood if you're gonna rent. So it's pretty much 25 gold pieces an item per day. And I leave that up to you what you think you need. So I can kind of tell you what you might want to consider. If you can't breathe underwater, you don't got a means for that. The cap of water breathing is pretty useful. The necklace of adaptation, the helm of underwater action.
Well, it seems like we're going to need to be able to breathe underwater, be able to move underwater, and maybe be able to see while we're down there. It seems like those are the big three.
And we're going to need an extra set in case we find fingers.
That's really a good point.
Now, if you know an alchemist, or there might be an alchemist shop in town, I don't really know. You might have a cheaper option of getting some potions of water breathing. Yeah, I would check out the chromatic eye. That's a 26. Right there.
Alchemy shop. Okay.
I'm pretty. Yeah. They well, not just alchemy. They sell components and other nonsense that people use for weird fucking magic. But they might have cheaper potions. You could probably get those cheaper if you're just looking to breathe. Again, you only really need these fancy items if you want to move fast. Like if you want to be able to swim. I believe the armor suits let you be able to swim. So you could always just rent those out if you can figure out a way to breathe underwater.
Well, let's see. Yeah, we should probably see if we could get the breathing potions or something, and then come back for the swimming and like sea and stuff.
Yeah, leave it up to you.
What's this about the lights you said? The lights that can move?
Oh, it's a drift globe. You ever hear of it?
No.
Oh, so it's like you attune to it, I think. I'm not sure. And you command it to glow, and it floats near you, so you could kind of like have it around you.
Can't you just make light, Kellen? You can just
I
make
could. I
light.
don't know how effective that would be. I never really operated deep underwater.
I mean, if that's what these candles, you could light them up, and they just burn underwater, and they produce light. They're only 50 gold a pop. But you
But is
gotta
it the
buy
same
them.
light Gene, is it the same light I can produce?
What? The drift globe?
That for my light spell.
I mean, your light spell would work underwater. Let you see.
Okay. Good. And
Just
I'll just have to rework my cantrips, that's all.
this guy is
Or no, I
just
don't.
this guy's just selling stuff. You can technically do your tool. Your tool you could pop in a cantrip that you don't know once per.
That's correct.
So if you wanted to get light, yeah. This is just options. This guy's just like I got stuff.
All right. So seeing underwater, I feel like we can handle. I think that's fine. Breathing and moving effectively is big.
Yeah.
So we want to
covered.
see if we can get potions of breathing. Because, like, listen, guys, we said we want to kind of get this done quick. So maybe let's, I have some coin. I have no problem spending it to get some stuff. I'm thinking. What are the gloves you said? The gloves of swimming, climbing, and farting?
Yeah, I got gloves of swimming and climbing. I also got a ring of
And
swimming.
How much is the gloves?
To buy or rent. I mean, everything to rent is 25, but to buy they're 2,000.
How much to buy?
2,000.
2,000. All right, so rent it is. And you got four. You have a number of sets of those.
I only got one.
You only have one.
Yeah.
Okay. So the ring of swimming, the gloves, because that means we need four.
Sorry, let me look at something. He kind of like starts pulling notes. I think the mariner armor allows you to swim as well. So if you just need a suit of armor because you're going to be going down there, it might be worth it to invest in that. I just gotta look real quick. Sorry, give me a second. Kind of starts peeling through some fucking notes. He pulls out a clam, throws it out, dips himself back underwater. All right, let me see this. Mariners. Oh, there we go. Mariner's armor. Yeah, it lets you swim pretty fast, and if you ever begin to die, it brings you to the surface.
That's nice.
So,
What are we thinking? 4 suits of Mariner's armor, and just say it's covered
I'm good. I don't need any other equipment.
to swim
I have
effectively.
I have what I need.
Okay, great. And you can breathe as well, or you still have to
Yes.
cover that?
I've got it. Good.
Wow, go Kellen.
right.
All right. How about this? I'll take a suit of splint. We'll do a studded leather for my gnomish friend here, and my big dragonborn buddy. He'll take a suit of scale mail. I kind of look at you like, yeah,
I'm usually wearing a breastplate, so I think scale mail is probably the closest.
yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's medium, but if you could wear heavy, he has a suit of heavy armor that could be used. I don't know if you're proficient.
Well, I'm gonna take this. The heavy.
No, but he has he has 3 suits. Of,
sorry. I understand.
No, sorry, you're right.
I
I lied to you. He has a splint, a scale, and 3 suits of studded. You're correct. Yep.
Cool.
I remember. Okay, yeah. He goes, all right, 25 gold each, and whoever's renting it, I need a vial of your blood.
All right. Here is a gem worth 50 gold.
All right, he looks at it, goes underwater with it, comes back up. All right, looks good.
You know what? Here's 2 gems worth 50 gold each. Can I just get 25 back?
Yeah. Kind of.
Great.
What do you want that in?
Gold pieces.
Okay. He goes back underwater, comes out with just a sopping wet amount of just gold. It's like,
Have you been bathing with those?
it's not bathing if you live in it. That's rude. So he hands you 25 gold, but it's all different like styles and old. Like clearly this is found somewhere deep in the water. Yeah, so you guys can add to your inventory temporarily. You can add yourself Mariner's armor, studded, scale, and splint. I believe it comes in those. And if it doesn't, it does today. So.
Great. All right. Thank you. And when do we have to return these by?
Every day you got to pay me money.
Okay. Well, hopefully this doesn't take longer than a day, but if not, when we return, we'll give you whatever the difference.
All right. Sounds good. All right. I need those vials of blood. Hold on. Let me get my ink sacs. You see him pull out you watch him pull out like these strange sacks that seem to have like piercers on the end. Well, I got it from an octopus. Don't make this weird. And
yes, nothing about this is weird.
And if he kind of like, hey, present your finger, and he kind of like he like closes it, it like pierces and sucks just a little bit, like not too much, and he pulls it off. He looks.
Ow.
Yep, he does it to each of you who's rented, and then he goes, okay. Yeah, and then he scribbles something up, and he hands you each a seashell as well. So this is a binding contract that I am not allowed to do anything nefarious, sell, or manipulate your blood in any way. And upon return of my items and payment, if owed, you will get your blood back. But if not, I will be. It allows me to also use whatever powers and means I need to retrieve my items. And it's written in a language you can't read, but he just says it to you.
Can I make an insight check on this guy?
Absolutely.
Yeah, this guy's on the up and up.
Yeah, I mean Brackle, he's a straight shooter.
Yeah, I got an 8.
He dips himself back underwater and comes back up. Oh gosh, it's hard being up here. All right. But
what's the deal with that trident? That's
Oh.
cool.
Oh, unless you command fish.
Yeah, you know what? Why don't you just keep that 25 gold so I don't have to touch it, and I'll rent out the trident too.
All right, here's a trident of fish command. Make the ocean your bitch.
Nice.
Yeah, you can
Fish
add you
friends.
can add a trident of fish command.
Now you're
Great.
Aquaman.
He takes another
Yep.
shell and adds more writing to it and hands you a second shell. That's your receipt for the trident as well.
Okay.
But I better get those items back or I'll have to hunt you and kill you with my sharks.
I'm gonna bring him back, man.
All right, listen, I trust you. I'm just warning you what's going to happen if I don't get my things back. It's a full trust situation happening here. I'm just giving you a heads up of don't backstab me. Because then I'll have to treat you like Brickle, and you don't want that.
What did you do to Brickle?
I killed him and
Nobody,
ate him.
nobody wants to be a
Uh,
Brickle. Nobody.
oh, okay. Well, Mr. Brackle, this has been terrifying.
All right, yeah.
Um,
I mean, you guys are great. I mean, I'll tell you this. I do occasionally find items that I am willing to sell, trinkets and things from under the water. Because you are now paying customers and I like you, except for you, he kind of looks at you, Kellen. You didn't rent anything from me, so I don't know how much I like you. If you got any questions about the surrounding waters and what's down there and stuff, I might be able to give you some guidance. It depends on what you're looking for. There's a bunch, like I said, there's a bunch of sunken ships down there. There's some ruffians who've been trying to scope out the area. You ever hear of the Brine King?
Nope.
Sam, give me a history check. Well, no, he's the only one who has the possibility of knowing of these people.
14.
So it sounds familiar. Something tickles in the back of your memory. You know that there is some sort of aquatic nation that you have traded with, like your people have, you haven't directly, but it's full of like tritons and sea elves and sahagins and probably these kind of guys. So like this kind of like fish marine kingdom known as the Brian, and it's kind of also a pirate kingdom because they they have a trading hub which is just like a bunch of ships tied together, but it leads down to like a Mariana Trench situation, and that there's apparently some sort of more marine based civilization. But you don't really you haven't had many interactions with them, but you've heard of them. They are definitely people who have interacted with the Khazralian Empire.
Hmm.
So yeah, so they're probably sending out scouts and stuff. They're always trying to reach their clammy hands on things.
So,
1 second. He goes back under, comes back up. Yeah, sorry. It's so hard being on the surface.
yeah, no, it really is. Uh, so these ruffians that you're talking about, say for example, something fell in the water yesterday.
Yeah.
Are these type of guys like they show up and they're like, oh, that's mine, and they just kind of take it and claim it for themselves, and then we would have to fight them for it, or what's your opinion on it?
I mean, it depends where it fell. I mean, if it fell toward one of the haunted ships, probably not. But if you ain't gonna deal with no ghost pirates, I think you'll be fine. They probably look for I would be more worried about like sharks and shit getting like loose body parts, but magical
I'm not
item.
worried about sharks with this trident.
I know. Look at that. You are already protected far better than any other person besides me. Anyway, yeah. I mean, there are some ghosts down there because the people are real mad that their ships got sank, and they're real worried about me stealing their treasure, and that's just rude of them, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, really, like, what is a ghost gonna do with money? Is they don't need it anymore.
Yeah, Yeah, he kind of like has like 1,000-yard stare. Like, yeah. They don't need that stuff. No haunted treasures ever been sold here. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, like I said, there's a bunch of wreckages. I mean, the big thing is like before this place was civilized and settled, it had a lot of jutting land. It's built on like a bluff, overhang of mountains, or cliffs. So like ships have crashed. Apparently, there's a famous ship out in the harbor. It was apparently some sort of like knight and mage. I think they called it the Valor or something, some stupid fucking name. But yeah, they sailed the seas. They fought like Sahagin and shit, and maybe the Brine King. But this was like hundreds of years ago. I think they got a statue of the guy somewhere around here. Anyway, but yeah, yeah. I think it was like the Valorant. I don't know. Whatever. Point is, it's a haunted ship, and a lot of treasure there. I found some cool stuff. Kind of like you watch his gills flare. Hey, you got one of the pieces that I found. I can smell it on you. It smells real similar. Yeah, points at you.
Me?
Yeah.
I've never been to this.
Let me see your stuff. Pull your stuff out. I need to see your stuff right now.
I don't want to do that.
I want you to do that for me.
I don't want to do that.
All right. I smell it on you, though.
Okay.
I gotta smell your stuff if you want me to tell you what it is.
I'm okay.
All right.
Yeah,
Fine.
let him sniff your stuff, man.
Yeah, let me smell your stuff.
He's gonna lick it. It's gonna be gross.
No,
All right, fine.
All right.
Fine.
You begin emptying your stuff out of pouches. So he's like,
Yeah.
you see him get out of the tub, and he's full like legs, tail, kind of like saunters over with his like web feet, and he's like looking through your stuff, and kind of like an anglerfish, you notice like an antenna thingy appears, and it kind of like hovers over your stuff, and then as he kind of sorts, it starts glowing, and he starts moving some of your coins, and he pulls out the pommel of the sword you have.
Yep.
Yeah. There's something down there. It smells like this.
That is a really old, really old artifact.
Apparently, it just, I don't know, the ghosts are guarding it or something. They're like, down on the ship, they're like, a battle was fought, and the Valor sank. I don't really know much more.
Do you know the names of the people that were on that ship? Was one of them Garth?
No, that's a stupid name. I also don't know. I just assume all landlubber
Buddy?
names are stupid.
Buddy, you watch it with that, okay? He was a great man.
I mean, Boff, that definitely sounds like a name that was down there.
All right, thanks. Been very helpful.
Yeah.
I take my stuff back.
You got some good stuff, though. So I liked it. I liked your stuff.
Yeah. Now it's all wet. I gotta dry it. Thanks.
And as he's kind of like looking at all of you, you watch kind of like as he moves around you, that like knob pulses. Oh, you guys got some good stuff on you. I like the smell of your stuff. And you can definitely tell that it hovers around some of your more magical items.
I really want to know about your non-swimming based stuff, but we are kind of on the clock.
Well, if you can't afford my swimming based stuff, I doubt you can afford my non-swimming based stuff. So maybe steal some treasure from those ghosts because they don't need it, and then come spend it at my shop. You ever think of that?
That's
Sure. Yeah.
I love haunted money.
That's real smart.
I love haunted money. Got so many ghosts. My tub's full of ghosts.
Ew.
That sounds like you should get that checked out. All right, let's go to this alchemy place and
All right.
and see if we
Get
can some breathing stuff. All right, thank you.
You're welcome.
Bye, Bricklebackle.
I ate Brickle Brackle and he gets back into stuff.
All right,
All
Gene.
right.
So I guess we're going to the chromatic eye to see if we can get
Yeah,
some
sure.
water breathing potion.
Absolutely.
Are we not going to talk about how weird that was?
I'd like to not talk about that.
It's kind of the only thing I want to talk about because it was really fucking weird.
That guy was weird. That guy was also gonna like take us into his haunted bathtub and probably drown us and kill us. So
How much of those gold pieces have touched his butt? That's what I want to know.
If he's in the same water, isn't it sort of always touching his butt?
Always. It's always touching his butt. Where does he pee? Does he pee in there? Because that is. You know what? You're right. Mm-hmm.
that's why
So
we
gross.
shouldn't talk about it because it's the more you think about it, the worse it gets.
Just remember, guys, that could
You're
have
not
been,
wrong.
That could have been your first encounter in this town if you wouldn't have started investigating things. That guy was primed and ready to go for a while.
Gene worked hard on that NPC, guys.
You listen. I have a list of his magical items and their costs. I worked very hard on this guy.
I believe it.
All right,
I'll come back and visit at nighttime.
all right. So you should definitely do that and deal with his ghosts. His hungry
He
ghosts.
did tell you he has ghosts.
Go to jail, killed by ghosts. What's the difference?
All right.
His ghost security guards.
So, kind of making your way back along the same path because 26 is back through the embassy and all these areas. You hustle back. You pass the bastion of. You actually pass the guards barracks if you want to do anything there. So the guard barracks are here and the shop is right there. So if you wanted to check in or do anything, you absolutely can. You don't have to. Just giving you the heads up.
Okay.
But you make your way over, and this place is way different than Brackle Brime's Antiques. This place is like well set out. Again, you're in a little bit of the fancier district, so you see a bunch of glass cases that have like rubies that are specifically chiseled but not set in anything. Diamonds, incense. You see ivory on the wall. It is just like spell component galore. And you do see, and then there are potions and also alchemical ingredients. So separated. And you see, kind of standing before you as you enter, you see a multicolored human. They are just rainbow across their skin. They also have no hair. So you just see this multicolored, no-haired woman. Hello, welcome to the Chromatic Eye.
Hello. Pleasure. Nice place he's got here.
Thank you. I've worked very hard on my stock.
Yeah, we're looking for potions of water breathing. Is that something that you've got available?
I think I could. Yes, of course I have those. Let me check my stock. My name is Salvadora. It is a pleasure to have you in my shop. Give me a moment. Let me look through some of the supplies. She gives. How many do you require?
Well, how much will that be? Just so I can make sure I've got enough coin.
Well, it's a common enough item, and you look like some strapping young fellows, and you're a strange one as she eyes Otisesh hungrily. Let's see. I would say I would be willing to part with them for 50 gold a potion. And looking through my stock, I have 9. I also have various other potions if you're looking and interested.
So I think we need 4, right? Because Kellen said that he could take care of himself.
Right.
So 4. I think we're in the market for 4 of those potions. But what else do you have out of curiosity?
Well, I mean, it depends what your interest is. Do you want more mystical boost or just regular ones? Do you need to be a little more potent in the bedroom, or do you want to be more potent on the battlefield?
Yeah. It sounds like a personal question, and we just met. And you gotta like
Well,
take me out
you're
to
in my
dinner.
shop asking what I have, and so I'm asking what you need. I can supply all of them. I have basic medicines, antidotes, minor healing potions, but I have once captured the nose hair of a giant and put it upon this vial. She pulls out this vial, and you see this one single long hair floating inside it. It's said that when
Ugh.
consumed, makes you as strong as a giant.
I have one of those.
Cool.
I'd buy it from you. 150 gold.
No, I think we'll find a use for it.
Fine. All right. Well, yes, I have those. Healing potions of various sizes, antidotes. She kind of
I actually wouldn't mind some healing potions. I feel
she
like we
she
we
she looks at you. Do you like the smell of lavender perfume? And then Finn, you recognize in Thieves' Cant that she has poisons for sale. And that lavender is definitely coating up like a different sweet smelling poison. You know, some that are applied on the skin or applied to clothing or other things.
All right, yeah. How much would that lavender be?
It depends how
What?
potent of a date you have.
Yeah, I think I'll take a a medium strength. Uh,
Or
if you have that available.
that would probably, unfortunately, it is so hard to get some of those ingredients. I could definitely do a nice vial of some sort of almond-based perfume for 100 gold.
100 gold for perfume.
It's very delicate and expensive.
It's really good. Don't worry, I'll cover that. That'll be all me. Don't worry about that.
All right, lovely. Would you like that a topical form or something to be applied to a collar? And she gestures like her eyes to your sword, or something that is more like you want to drink it so your breath smells fresh.
I think more like the collar.
Of course.
But I also curious. Would this still carry? Will the scent carry through water, or will the water diffuse its potency?
Oh, it would be very ineffective in the water.
Then I will have to politely decline. I might come back later though.
All right. My shop is always open to a particular eye.
I'm so
Appreciate that.
confused.
Anyway,
You said you'll give me 150 for the hill giant strength potion I have.
hill giant. She kind of wrinkles her nose. I thought it was more potent. 100.
Mm. Yes, I will sell that.
All right. Perfect. She hands you 100 gold and takes the potion.
100.
All right. So you said you need 4 potions of water breathing. That'll be 200 gold.
All right.
I got it. Here you
You
go.
sure? You sure?
Yeah.
All right.
She
Here
racks
you go.
up four vials. You notice that there's like a seaweed floating in it. When you drink it, make sure you slurp down the seaweed with it simultaneously. It has to be slurped.
Drink the seaweed. Got it.
Slurped.
Yep. Nasty. All right. Thank you.
You said you were interested in healing potions. I mean, I have the most basic variety. They're about 50 gold apiece. I have a little bit stronger for those who are of great potency. Those are 100 gold apiece. And then I have one of the most superior kind, and that is about 500 gold.
I'll take one of the basic ones.
All right. She racks that up and just sees if anyone else wants to buy more.
I'll take some of the. Can I have two of the slightly bigger boys?
Yes. Sure. She racks those up.
Thank you.
Anything else I can get you?
There's 100 each.
Are you going underwater per se? You said.
Yeah, we are actually.
Be forewarned that drinking potions underwater is not always guaranteed. Because it would disperse if it got exposed, and if you tried to suck it down, you'd have to let air in order to get it in.
So we should take it prior to going in the water.
Well, you could not drink them in the water, but I have a special device that I would sell you for. Let's say, like you've spent a lot of money. 250 gold. It's an injector.
People like sticking us with shit today. It's amazing.
Well, what you do
This is weird.
You could you screw in the potion so that it's sealed to it, and then it plunges into you, and then it applies it directly. But again, that is for if you're going underwater, you may have to use it.
And that would only work for one person, right? You'd have to.
Well, I mean, you would then take out the vial and you'd have to put a new potion into it. It is reusable, the injector.
I think I'm gonna pass a 250. Sorry, lady.
All right.
It's a little much, but thank you.
I'll
Appreciate it.
I'll say this. I don't know how you will be. You'll be breathing through the potion. There might again. It's not saying that it is completely ineffectual using potions underwater. It is just harder, and they are less effective because they are dispersed in the water. Unless you are very skilled at drinking, and then maybe you can slurp it down, and then get the whole effect.
Thanks for that weird visual.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm just explaining how potions work. I think you are the ones making this awkward.
No. We appreciate your expertise in this matter. Thank you so much.
All right. Well, you have a lovely day, and thank you for shopping at the Chromatic Eye.
Bye, Miss Alvadora.
All right, take it.
Goodbye. And she kind of waves her hand, and like a pink mist appears, like a minor cantrip. And then you hear a pop, and she goes, "Oh, magic's a little wonky by me." But anyway, keep going. Have a great day.
But they'll let anybody open up a store at this place. Like it's so weird.
When we step
mean,
out of the
she
store, I
just
want
seemed-
Kellen to be the first one. And everybody steps out, I'm going to turn around, and you see he has a really upset look in his face. Excuse me, guys. How much money are you all sitting on? Because until I sold that potion, I have less than 100 gold. So you either went on your own and made a fortune, or somebody's holding out on me.
No, I don't have a lot. Like what I spent for that was it. Like I've got some money still left, but not a lot.
I have a little over 100. Those gems, by the way. First off, Kellen, listen, I wouldn't hold out on you. Like, you're my buddy. I've shared. If you
Everybody
want
seems to
all
be
my money
well
right
loaded up
now,
on
Kellen,
cash.
I would give those gems that I just used. Those gems I found when we killed all of my family, my blood relatives, and I held on to them. I didn't pass them out, and I'm sorry if that wasn't okay, but I figured I would just pay for, stuff like this, stuff that we're going to use.
I have a
And
big
now
deal
I've
going
spent
on that
all of
requires
it.
a bunch of money. Now I have to go find like a bunch of treasure on my own, it seems.
You
Well,
want 100 gold? Here's
yeah, what do you
100
need?
gold.
No, I don't want 100 gold.
I will say.
I'm
I
going to
wanna
throw
make
it in
sure
the
that
street.
there's-
I'm going to
I
throw
want
it
to
in the
make sure there's
street.
an equitable division of treasure here.
Kellen, I'm hurt.
Well, I'll also say this: like I had like 80 gold to my name. I just spent 50 for the
Now
potion.
you have what I about that much. I had less than 100 when we went in that place.
Yeah, and
Now I have almost 200.
Yeah, and I got that also from killing folks when I wasn't with you guys.
Okay,
Sorry,
I understand.
But like, yeah, dude, I'll you know, we're cousins, man. I'll give you money if you need it. You know how it is.
You do recall there was that trapped room that you didn't have time to investigate inside
Yeah.
the manor, which you could always sneak over. You don't have to rush. If you think maybe there's money there, I don't know. Also, ghost money. You can have ghost money, which is cooler than regular money. Everyone knows. But
I mean, Kellen, you know I would never hold out on you. At least I hope you know that. But if you want to be in charge of money from now on, that's okay. Then you can be master of coin.
No, as long as you don't forget me. A little something for the effort. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and like if you need money to help make things, or you need, somebody to possibly acquire things for you, just let us know, man. Like that's like what.
Like I really think we should go back and clean out that fish.
What do you mean clean out?
No,
you know what I mean.
Yeah, not his
No,
thing.
If we were to go to jail, we
no,
might as well
no,
go to
no,
jail
no.
for doing something.
I can't be part of this, man. Kellen, I can't stop you. You're a whole ass person on your own, but I can't be part of that.
I kind of look at Kellen, I kind of wink, and I'm like, yeah.
Also, he has ghosts, so if you get fucked up, that's on you.
Oh, go schmoes, this fine.
Any other stops before we jump in the water?
Sure.
I want to talk to my people and stuff, but I honestly want to focus on this. And when we get back, we'll go talk to the Rooster Man and my people and all that. But this is pretty important.
I just need to
guess,
have some time back at the embassy so I can rework some of my enchantments and such.
Sure. Yeah, let's stop by the embassy. I have to break it to Reggie that he's not coming.
Yeah. Good. And also, like, I'll say, if we want to, like, go visit some other places to go try to find some, extra spending coin or what have you, we could do that too. I think that's reasonable. I'm kind of along with Kellen, like tired of getting accused of doing bad shit when all we're doing is helping. That's just my 2 cents.
Oh,
Let us
okay.
take care of the timely business, and afterwards we can discuss our plans for becoming less poor.
Sounds good.
Okay.
all right, with that,
I mean, that's so pretty rich.
With that said, I imagine you're going to go back to the embassy so that you can kind of quickly rework some of your infusions.
Yes.
And you guys prepare to go on some sort of underwater adventure. And I think that is going to be it for tonight. I'm sorry we didn't get a break, but I felt we were going through shit real quick, and I didn't want to really pause. But all right, guys, thank you so much for playing. Thank you for dealing with the politics and ludicrous people I created for you that I did a lot of work for.
Brickle Brackle is great.
That man has been existed since since Draven's Rest map was occurred, and I was like, there's gotta be a weird fuck. He was a Triton in my head at first, but then I thought it was way funnier if he was just a Lacan. Just a full ass fish man.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So yeah, thank you guys for playing. Thanks people for watching, and hopefully we'll be there in 2 weeks, and we'll go into your underwater adventure that might involve ghosts, might involve Sahagin, who knows, and definitely a haunted pirate ship. It'll be dope, and maybe you'll also find
definitely.
Yeah, you'll find the people you're looking for. I'm hoping. All right. Have a good night, and let me switch over to our ending screen. Bye.
That was fun.